Hello and happy Saturday and happy Ignite the Fire. Thank you so much for attending our event tonight. We are so excited. I've been waiting for this event, I think, for months at this point. My name is Chrissy Hodges. I'm the founder and executive director of OCD Gamechangers. OCD Gamechangers is the sponsor of this event, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and what we do is we bring people together, creating community, creating initiatives to help with obstacles in our community, and overall just spreading resources, elevating therapists and advocates doing amazing work to reach people, and on spreading education, spreading awareness, and providing support for individuals with obsessive compulsive disorder. I am so excited for tonight because the lineup and our partners tonight, Not Alone Notes, are here. It is going to be so much fun. And I'm just going to really quickly tell you how the event is going to go tonight. And then I'm going to bring on Morgan and Molly of Not Alone Notes, and they're going to tell you a little bit about their organization. So thank you so much for being here. What we're doing tonight is an extension of what happened when the pandemic broke out. I think that's the correct term, broke out. In March, we had our OCD Gamechangers event in Denver, which actually Not Alone Notes attended and spoke at, and it was awesome. And when everybody went home, we turned on the news because I hadn't been watching the news or anything. I was so busy with the event. And it seemed like the world changed overnight. I was super sad. All of these wonderful people that I just loved and got to know and felt so full, of community and hope and motivation to do all this wonderful work this year. Everybody had left, and then I saw everything had changed, and I didn't know how to feel. I was already feeling sad, and then to see the world looks different than it did just 5 days ago. It was so difficult for me individually. And I was hearing from clients that I work with through peer support how hard it was for them. I was hearing from my friends and the advocates that had just been at the event how hard it was for them as well. So Gamechangers came up with an initiative, a little bit selfish on my part. I really just wanted to get people on video to talk about their experience with COVID because I was struggling so bad. And I thought, if I can just see other people who I trust and care about in the OCD community, if I can see how they're feeling, I think it would help normalize and validate what I was going through. And I've always loved the fireside chats that FDR used to do. These were chats that he did over the radio. And the intention of these it was a really tough time for America. Folks were scared. They felt very alone. And the president wanted to be in their living room with them, on the radio, comforting them, telling them they're not alone, telling them that he's right there with them, walking alongside them through a difficult time. And so that's what I thought would be such a wonderful contribution to the OCD community. And so we started our own fireside chats. We brought people on. The first week we did like 6, and then I was exhausted after that week. So I thought, okay, we need to scale back. And so for the next couple months, we brought all different people, therapists, advocates, but people that most people know who they are in the community. So I felt like they're going to really be able to trust their message. Through the months, we had people on there, sometimes hopeful, sometimes sad, sometimes angry, frustrated, scared. And I believe it was like walking alongside people in what we were feeling as individuals. So now tonight, all those people in those original COVID 2020 fireside chats are coming back on tonight. Each person's going to spend about 4 or 5 minutes talking about where they've come since their original fireside, how they feel. And we're going to keep it real, y'all. So buckle up. It's going to be a really, really fun night. You're going to get to see a lot of really awesome people. But first, let me bring on 2 amazing people that are going to tell you about their organization and who a portion of the proceeds tonight are going to go to fund a project they're going to talk about a little bit later. Here's Morgan and Molly of Not Alone Notes.
Hi.
Y'all, introduce yourselves to the viewers and tell us about your organization.
So my name is Morgan. Got involved in the OCD community as a blogger, and I still do that. But Molly and I started this project, I can't believe it's been 3 years, but 3 years ago, over 3 years, where we mail handwritten letters to people with OCD. I knew people felt really alone, especially right when they're diagnosed or starting their journey, and I wanted to send them hope and resources in the mail. And Molly got involved, and now we have a team of writers, and we send them all across the world.
What else, Molly? What else, girl?
What else? I mean,
we've mailed like 1,500 letters. We're missing 2 states, and then we'll have the whole United States. So
wow.
We've been missing the same 2 states. What are they? It's like Wyoming and something.
Delaware.
Delaware and Wyoming. We've been missing
Delaware and Wyoming. If you're out there, you better contact us right now.
Help us fill in our map.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's just been really, it just goes to show that this was just like an idea I had sitting in my dorm room, just like avoiding homework or whatever. And I was like, how can I reach all those people out there that don't know anyone else with OCD? And it was just, well, I can write them a letter, it costs just a stamp. And now we hand make all the cards. Our artists and our writers are all artists, and they're amazing. And it's just like a little hug in the mail.
Who doesn't like snail mail and getting mail?
Right.
Except for bills, but like.
Right.
So Molly, what was it like for y'all coming out to the OCD Gamechangers event right before the pandemic?
It was so much fun. We have it was called Fireside. What was it called? The mastermind sessions. I was like, it's not Fireside. Yes. We had mastermind sessions where we got to talk about ideas, and that helped us, gave us the idea to add more people to our team. You guys also helped us with ideas for our book, our coloring book, Color Your Fears. So it was really helpful, and it was awesome to share our story on stage as well, and be with everyone. It was really the last time that we're going to be traveling for a very long time. So it was really special for a lot of reasons. And just like, it was a big ERP as well, traveling across the country alone for the first time on a plane alone.
Yay!
It was fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you both. Please let us know how they can find you or more information about Not Alone Notes.
So our handles, Molly and I both have them. Whoa, it's backwards. And our website is notalonenotes.org.
Excellent. And we're on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Instagram and Facebook.
And LinkedIn.
We are on LinkedIn now. It's very exciting.
Well, Molly and Morgan, thank you for being here. As you know, OCD Gamechangers supports you and is so excited for you. And stay tuned, everyone. Molly and Morgan, very soon, but I'm not going to tell you what time, so you'll stay watching. They're going to come back and talk to you about this really cool initiative they are starting in 2021, and you don't want to miss it. So I'm going to go ahead and put y'all backstage, and we're going to get ready for the first presenter. So thank you, Morgan and Molly.
We'll see you later.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, so this is a fundraiser, everybody. Yay! So all donations go directly to Gamechangers, and we will be giving a portion of proceeds to help fund the Not Alone Notes initiative, but we're not going to tell you what that is just yet. So this event tonight is kind of designed this way. We're going to run for a long time, 2 hours and 45 minutes. So you can sit for the whole thing if you'd like, or, if you need to get up and go, get you some dinner, come on back. We'll be here ready to talk to you a little bit more about our experience in COVID 2020. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to bring on our first presenter to kick it off, the one and only Chris Trondsen.
Hey. Do you like my fireside? I made sure I had it. Yes. Technology is great, folks. We love it. We love it. How are you doing? How's everything going?
It's good. So, Chris, I'm just going to hand it over to you and let you have it. You've got about 4 or 5 minutes. Check in with us. Let us know how you've been, what it's been like for you in COVID. But I do want to say my memory of Chris and I, when we did our fireside chat, was definitely I cannot believe people would pick the grapes out at the grocery store.
Yes. If you guys didn't watch our original one, what Chrissy is alluding to is like right at the heart of the pandemic. I was at a Sprouts grocery store and this guy is picking grapes and eating it, and nobody's like brave enough to say anything. So I'm about to say something, and this woman cuts me off and walks up to the man and was like, "What are you doing eating grapes in a pandemic?" So I wish that was on camera so I could play it, but no.
All right, I'm gonna give you the screen, and I'm gonna go backstage, but the screen is yours for 4 or 5 minutes. Chris, thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't be anywhere else. Thank you, Chrissy. All right, you guys. So for me, I was like Molly and Morgan were saying, is like right before the pandemic, I was out at the Gamechangers event in Colorado. We had started to hear this buzz about, COVID-19, but it wasn't really hit yet. So it was amazing that the last kind of memory I have, the last trip I have was actually with the OCD community, being able to give back. When Chrissy and I actually did our fireside chat, it was really early in the pandemic, and I was at a pretty low place. So I am a treatment provider now. I'm a therapist that treats OCD and related disorders, but I am an OCD. I'm an individual with OCD as well. And so one of the things that I opened up to Chrissy about, and she was actually the first person I was able to articulate my thoughts to at our fireside chat, was that living during the pandemic reminded me of living at my worst case scenario when I was at my very worst with OCD. I barely came out of the house. If I came out of the house, it was to go to the store. I was wiping things down, grabbing things and leaving. And it kind of felt the same way. And I hadn't felt that like lowness in my life in a very long time. So, thank you to Chrissy to let me open up and kind of just like process what I was going through. But here we are now in December. And so I would say a couple things that have happened since the fireside chat. I would say one of the good things is I do a lot of local advocacy to the local Southern California area, speaking at events, throwing free events, free support groups, being out in the community. But one thing that actually allowed for me to happen during the pandemic was I was able to actually start to do virtual advocacy and reaching people in different states and different countries. So that is one good thing, is I've kind of felt a unity in the OCD community I haven't felt before. It's always felt very like pockets because nobody really communicated virtually. So this has been absolutely incredible. Is one thing is what Chrissy has been doing and Gamechangers has been doing. I know this is a fundraiser and you see it at the bottom of the screen, so make sure you donate. But that advocacy that I've been able to do, I've done different town halls, I've done fireside chats, I've been able to run virtual support groups to help the community. Me as a person, I would say I was able to get over that feeling of like deja vu of when I was at my absolute worst. And I've been able to kind of make the best of a very not great situation. So I want to touch on the good or the bad and then the good before, I know there's other people. I would say the bad is I'm a social person. I'm definitely an extrovert. And this has been really hard, not being able to go to friends' houses and clubs and bars and just like hang out with friends and being social. So I've had to do a lot of different things virtually. And, it's not always the same to talk to a friend on FaceTime for a few hours versus like being able to be in person. So I would say the one hardest thing that has continued to hit me is, although I have OCD, I also struggle with depression. So depression has been something that I have to keep at bay because of the isolation. I also have body dysmorphic disorder, and it's been very difficult to stare at myself throughout the day doing virtual sessions with clients and doing events. So I really had to brush off my tools and not let myself get fixated on how I didn't like my appearance on screen. I would definitely say one of the good things, though, that has happened throughout this pandemic is I feel like it's like I'm always go, 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 go. So it's actually been a time that I've been able to like park, almost get like a tune-up and find out what's really important to me. And so as soon as this pandemic is done, I'm in California, so we are locked up. That's why the hair keeps growing, because I can't get a haircut because every salon is shut. But for me, as soon as this pandemic is done, I want to get back into martial arts and I want to get back into like physical exercise and reconnecting with friends and dating. So I would say the one advice I'd give to everyone struggling right now is use this time to kind of be your tune-up, to figure out what is it that I want to do, and to take advantage of the time when things open up to get back out there and to really be out there doing the things you care about. So my final message, because I don't want to go over time, Chrissy sent us death threats if we went too long, so I don't want to get killed. But, a big thing for me, kind of like a final message for all of you guys, is there's a community out there. Please, please, please donate to OCD Gamechangers. take advantage of all the free events and the things that they throw. But remember, there is an OCD community out there. You are not alone. I know that during the holidays, it's a difficult time. We can feel like we're supposed to be laughing and with people. And since that's been taken away and already difficult when we have OCD and related disorders, I know it's hard. But that's why I love Not Alone Notes. Make sure you hit them up. They send amazing notes. So you just know that people are out there that love and care for you. But we're a strong community. We got each other's backs. No, you're not alone. And it's been absolutely amazing. So to sum it up, I was in a really low place at the start of this pandemic, and I've turned it around mostly. But I know I'll be better as soon as I can get out there with people. So thank you, Chrissy, for having me. I know there's like 19 other people, so I don't want to keep talking, but I just wanted to make sure, since I was first, that I had the fireside. Nobody else can top that now. Boom.
Like, I have candles.
Yours is more of like a slightly warm candle side chat, you know?
Chris, thank you so much. I always just love listening to you talk, and I know California is all shut down. So I just want to your point really quickly, that's another reason we're doing this right now, is because we're at the holidays. People feel trapped. People feel isolated. And I wanted us to be in your living room tonight. Chris be in your living room, me, Not Alone Notes, all of our other guests tonight. So you can really feel like we're here with you. We're going to get through this. And even though the holidays can be tough, your community is still there to support you. So thank you so much, Chris.
Love you, Chrissy. Donate to OCD Gamechangers, and thanks for having me. And we will see each other in person. I know it soon. It has to happen.
Thank you.
Bye, you guys. Take care. Everybody stay strong.
All right. And that was a great kickoff, and I don't really think anybody can top his fire. So we will see, though, because we have a long time to see. Our next guest. Hi, Amy.
Hi, how are ya?
So I just want to quickly share, one of the things about meeting with Amy in the Fireside Chat was I had like an epiphany when we met. And we talked about, like you got invited to this concert in your neighborhood. And I remember like listening to what you're saying and being like, yes, I don't want to go to concerts outside. I don't want to do that. And I really had this moment of, wow, like you opened my eyes to be able to be like, I don't want to trauma bond with people, and that's okay. And so I just wanted to share that with you, and thank you for that. Yeah. And with that, just keep on schedule. Have at it. Talk to us for 4 or 5 minutes about where you have come since your Fireside Chat.
Sounds great. Okay, so I'm setting a timer, because that will help me. Otherwise, I will talk for the remainder of the 2 hours or however long it is. So yeah, I'm coming to you guys live from Nashville, Tennessee, from my home office, where this calendar is now 9 months later than when we started this, right? So when I was thinking about reflecting on how are things different now, 9 months later? How are things different from when I was last on the Fireside Chat with Chrissy? I was thinking about how, and sort of reflecting on how this pandemic has kind of been like a worldwide version of the Stanford marshmallow experiment. And hear me out. If y'all aren't familiar, this is an experiment that was done in 1972 by a psychologist who sat kids down, gave them a marshmallow, and before leaving the room said, all right, if you eat this marshmallow now, you will get a marshmallow. It's a small, immediate reward. But if I leave the room and you don't eat the marshmallow, when I come back, you'll get 2. And then America went and ate the marshmallow. This is how I feel. My opinion, not the opinion of OCD Gamechangers or anybody else. And frankly, a lot of the world, we're trying to eat the marshmallow. I think what I'm trying to say with this is that it is really, really hard as a culture to sit with kind of, delayed gratification, not only for things that are pleasures in life, but also for the things that we've come to rely on. Chris was saying he's a social person. He misses doing all the things that he's used to doing. It's not just about we can't go out anymore. It's about things like holidays are going to look different, right? Not being able to hug loved ones, people going and having babies alone in the hospital because they can't have visitors or things like that. Weddings don't look the same. So I do think it's so important that we're all aware of, we've kind of had this collective sort of trauma. And at this point, I think when the dust is settled and we're no longer wondering like what's going to happen next, we've all become like amateur epidemiologists and all that kind of stuff. It has been cool to see how much people have been creative in terms of how they can come together. And it has been cool to see how much we are highlighting things like mental health. I'm seeing, lots of articles about how there's a mental health, pandemic that's kind of a wave coming after the COVID pandemic. And I think that kind of awareness and the creativity with which people are connecting, what OCD Gamechangers and Not Alone Notes is doing right now, right here with this event, is a tremendous testament to their creativity and to the strength of the OCD community, which I will say 2020 has been the year when I've really felt like, as an OCD provider, that this community has welcomed me with open arms, and I felt more and more comfortable. I think right now where I am, we had a particularly warm day the other day, and it reminded me of like the weather in March, and I had it wash over me, that feeling of what I felt like in March, where it was, terror. It was like I was having, thoughts of myself on a ventilator, my loved ones on a ventilator. Am I going to harm someone? Those kinds of things. It was really difficult. I think now it's interesting to see how it's no longer like this fight or flight sort of reaction. It's like, okay, we got this. Like, we can wait. And that is not at all to diminish the fact that, I haven't lost any loved ones to COVID or anything like that. But again, the tremendous resilience. And so, I'm not a person who is who will easily talk about like, we should be, super hopeful about what's next. I think there are a lot of questions, and I think there's a lot of work in sitting in the uncertainty of those questions. But I do think that that we're getting there, and that with the vaccines and everything, we're getting there. So I look forward to seeing what everybody else has to say.
I really appreciate this perspective, and I feel like it's so much aligned with what I took away from our initial fireside chat. So I just really appreciate it. Yeah. So thank you so much. And thank you for being part of Gamechangers. And that's it. Thank you very much.
All
I'm
right.
all red. Like, I came on and I'm like, why is my face? And I think I'm hot from the candles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are going out right now.
All right.
Amy, have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you hopefully soon in 2021.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye now. I literally was like trying to talk with her, and like my face, I was like, what has happened to my face? Like, the last time I was on, it's blown up. It's okay though. Yay, that was awesome. And this is what I'm going to love about this event tonight, is that we get to get everybody's perspective no matter what it is. And it, like, Amy's message made me feel so normalized. So I'm just really excited about that. So our next speaker, I hope that he sets a timer too, because we all know that Ethan Smith can talk and talk and talk. And I'm only saying this because I know he's going to say something about my hair.
The timer's going. I started the timer already. I'm not going to say anything about your hair. I'm taking the high road tonight.
Oh, Ethan.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi. Yeah, you've been busy as well this whole pandemic, hosting stuff, doing lives, all kinds of stuff. So thank you for all the work that you do for this community.
Well, thank you. We're tagging this. No, are you kidding? I feel the same way. Does this count as my 5 minutes, or does it start after you?
Nope. I'm clicking off right now, and it is all.
I'm gonna restart. Bye, Chris. Bye, hair, Chrissy. Sorry. I hope everyone's doing really well tonight. No, I want to thank Chrissy for having me. It's an amazing group of people, and I'm a huge, amazing supporter of Gamechangers. And Chrissy, we've been friends for many, many years. And I was actually thinking about, the last time I actually went to a restaurant and was with a large group of people was Gamechangers in March. literally 3 days before everything shut down. And we were at the restaurant and we went to the event, and it was the last time I hugged random groups of people and shook hands. And I kind of love it's a full circle, not only for our fireside chat and coming back now, but just from that event, right? And being able to support each other and support one another in this time. But here we are. And so I thought I would update everyone on how I'm doing. I think I spoke quite a bit over the last 5 or 6 months on how I'm doing on a daily basis, but I'll have a little more insight into my own life. But again, quickly thank OCD Gamechangers, thank Not Alone Notes. Everybody knows how much I'm a gigantic fan of Morgan and Molly. They do amazing work. And so I love the Gamechangers and Not Alone Notes have teamed up, because that is a powerful team. I also love a lot of the things that Amy said before me. I made some notes for tonight, and I probably won't pay attention to them, but we were already a tight-knit group. We've always been a tight-knit group, but one of the silver linings of this pandemic is we are a tighter-knit group because of all this. We have come together, we have all stepped up. And the beautiful thing about OCD advocates is that, you don't have to ask us twice. You barely have to ask us once. If we've been through that journey, we just want to give back and educate and reduce stigma and help people find affordable, accessible treatment, like all the work that Stephen Smith, who will be on later, and OCD is doing. So, so we were already passionate, and we were already going and blowing and burning the candles at both ends, and everybody was working on their stuff. But this is really, ignited the fire underneath all of us to really give back in ways that we couldn't before. And now we're virtual, and we're able to reach so many more people than we did. So, that is one of the silver linings. Me personally, I did really well up at the beginning of the pandemic. I started diving into advocacy head first, and really just started creating a bunch of content. And I think it was 2 or 3 months after the pandemic hit that it kind of hit me, and I went, "Whoa, this is kind of weird." And I had a really hard time for a while adjusting to it. Things hit me kind of delayed, and then maybe I got into a bit of a groove, things like that. I have to say, on a personal note, this has been like a year of duality for me. I met someone. She's absolutely amazing and the love of my life, and it was kind of weird to meet during COVID, only because I feel like that my life, my personal life I'm more, there's more gratification in my personal life than I've ever felt before, ever. And then there's all this other stuff going on. And then my OCD is like, wait, am I supposed to feel guilty that I feel happy and joy, like a sense of peace and joy and happiness and fullness in my heart that I've never felt before? Is that okay for me to feel right now? Should I be feeling that way? When I talk to my friends and they're really struggling with the pandemic, whatever's going on, is that okay that I have those feelings? And trust me, I've struggled plenty in the last 5-6 months, but I joke, I'm like, if you know me, I've been kind of looking for my person for since I got better. I mean, before that, but since I got better. So it's been about 10 or 11 years. And my OCD suddenly goes, is this what it takes for me to be happy, like personally, and find my is this? And like, I joke, but there's that kernel of thought that's in that OCD that's like, oh my God, it takes a global pandemic for me to be happy. Crap. Like, what does this mean for the rest of my life? It's kind of scary. But all joking aside, again, if I had to pick 2 words for the year, it's duality and it's connection. The duality is the experience of both the sadness and heaviness and weight of what's all happening in the world, and just being able to survive and do our part, right, and stand together as a community. And connection, meaning I've connected more with the community and all of you and friends, so much more than I've ever connected in my advocacy in the past. It's really meant the world to me. I know for a fact it's kept me sane. It's kept me somewhat mentally healthy, right? We all have our ups and days and downs of days. We all have our rough days, but the silver lining for me is definitely connection and duality. And I'm just grateful to be here and be present and join these amazing game changers. So thank you for having me. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you, Not Alone Notes. Thank you, Game Changers. Please donate if you can. Every little bit helps. And these guys are doing amazing work. I have 10 seconds. So I hope everybody lost their bets against me. And I want to give a shout out to Chris Trondsen for his sick background. And I'm kind of pissed.
Ethan, I so much appreciate, and it really did give me some stuff to think about, your message. And I think I would say if it took a global pandemic for you to feel this way and be happy, it's okay. I don't think that's probably all right to say that.
I feel slightly guilty about it, but it's fine.
Anyway, I do want to say how happy I am for you. And I also want to share just a quick memory at the beginning of the pandemic when I was really up and down that first couple months. I remember a conversation we had, and it was snowy outside. And I remember you just saying, Christy, just go out and listen to the birds. Go out and get the fresh air and see the sunshine. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And I used that a lot over the next couple months. And so thank you. And thank you for all that you do for the community and for your support of Gamechangers.
Well, I love you guys. I love Morgan and Molly. Have an amazing rest of your night. And thank you all. And please consider donating. Good night.
Yes. Bye. All righty. We are 3 people in. Woo! It was awesome already. I already knew it was going to be, but it's even more awesome than I thought. I'm so glad that you're here. Remember that this is a fundraiser and all donations go towards initiatives for OCD Gamechangers. Every penny we get at Gamechangers goes towards initiatives for the community. And we're going to give a portion of the proceeds to Not Alone Notes and their big new initiative. I'm going to bring them on. Yay! I'm going to give you all the floor and scoot out of here. Oh my God, Morgan.
Sorry.
I'm going to give you all the floor and I'm going to go backstage to talk about your new initiative. We do have a bit of a buffer, as we know. So 3-4 minutes or so, and we're all good. Yay!
So we are so excited. You've seen little teasers about Not Alone Totes. So a little background. This was actually the original idea for Not Alone Notes. And it wasn't feasible at the time. It wasn't as accessible as a letter and a stamp. But we have some really good donors and authors. And basically what we're doing is we have applications. And you can find it in our link tree. You can find it on our website. We'll post it more. But Not Alone Totes. So basically we're looking for people who are just diagnosed with OCD, otherwise just beginning treatment early in their journey. We're going to send you a care package tote just loaded with resources. So we have authors donating books about OCD. We have tons of stickers from different organizations and companies that represent OCD. We have fiddle items. I'm just so excited. This has been a dream for years.
We handpicked each item and chose who was going to be in it because we talked to our team of writers to find out what you would like, what you wish you had when you're first diagnosed with OCD.
So it's basically, I hope it's not overwhelming for them, but you find out you have OCD and in the mail, you get just loads of resources. There's going to be handouts, questions you should ask a therapist when you're trying to find a therapist. There's going to be a journal for therapy notes or just self-reflection. I can't believe this is happening. I keep getting packages and packages of stuff to put in the totes. And I almost started crying over fiddle packs because from Picking Me Foundation, they're little miniature fiddle packs with a stress ball and a tangle. I don't want to give away too much, but they're really cool. And I almost started crying because I was like, this is happening. We're going to send out a trial run of 30 totes to people with OCD. And I believe, if I remember the numbers correctly, it's the first 5 are totally free. And then the other ones, you just have to make a donation to Gamechangers or Not Alone Notes. It could be $2, it could be $20, whatever you're comfortable with. And we're going to pick the first sort of 30 applications that meet the criteria of being new to their OCD diagnosis or journey. And we're going to send them these resources. So,
do you want to hold up the box?
Yeah, I won't show you what's in it yet, but this is a little sampling of what we'll show you later.
Yes, y'all will be coming back on throughout this entire event to share about what's going to be in the bags and who's donated and just more information. And I went all orange for y'all. Do you not see it? Yeah,
I love it.
So we'll go back to the boring. Thank you so much, y'all. And I just want to emphasize, this fundraiser is to help fund Not Alone Totes.
Yes.
Why do I believe in this idea? When I first heard about this idea, it was Gamechangers at the mastermind. Is that right? I think it was. I just remember thinking what I would do if I found out that I had OCD and I could write in and say, I don't know where to go. I don't even, I don't know who to meet. And if someone would send me a care package of all of these people that I could reach out and connect to, even just looking at their content, reading their books, like this is game changing. And how much less alone will people feel? How much more people are going to know you get ERP therapy for this because they're going to have it sitting in front of them. So I just felt like this completely aligns with OCD Gamechangers values. And we are just so proud and excited to be able to be part of the beginning of this journey, because I think it is a game changer for people. You will really save lives. So thank you both so much.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, we so appreciate it.
All right. Well, don't you worry. Molly and Morgan will be back on a little bit later to talk some more. Bye, y'all. And please consider donating. You can scan the little thing up top. There we go. The thing, my finger looks really long there. You can scan right there to donate. Or if you look at the bottom, you can scroll and go to OCD Game Changer. We have a landing page, or you can just hit the donate button. And we so much appreciate. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. All money donated to OCD Game Changers goes towards all of our really cool initiatives. I'm going to be talking about that here in a little bit, so I don't want to waste any more time, but a portion of the proceeds goes to Not Alone Totes. So support their wonderful idea, and thank you so much for being here. So our next guest is one of my best friends and who I consider just absolute family. She is the founder of Riley's Wish, and she is a staunch advocate for OCD and addiction. I knew her son, Riley. I was good friends with him. I just adored him. I always say I was like the president of his fan club. And he started so much buzz and education around OCD addiction. And Margaret is one of those people that just is a game changer, and she took his vision and is doing exactly what he wanted to do. And I'm so proud to call her a friend and family. So Margaret, thank you for being here. And I don't want to take up too much time because, I don't know if you started your clock like Ethan did, but yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, and also Margaret is also on the Game Changers board. Yay!
Yay! Yes.
All right, Margaret, I'm going to hand it over to you. You got 4 or 5 minutes. How have you been doing since COVID?
Thank you, Chrissy. Wow, this is such a neat deal. And Morgan and Molly, I want to say what a cool idea with this Not Alone Totes. And also want you all to think about families, because when those moms and dads, say their child is diagnosed, their loved one, you're so lost and you don't know. And boy, I would have done anything to have those resources. So kudos to an awesome, awesome idea. And yes, Chrissy, my dear, dear friend, we have kept up all through COVID. And I'll just say on a personal note, and first I want to say, Ethan, who came before me, dear friend, lives close, and we were at the OCD Game Changer. We kind of, that people were talking about COVID, but, and I remember getting on the plane and the guy in front of me was handed, sterile wipes out and said, "Do you want one?" I was like, "Oh, well, okay. Well, what do you want me to do with it?" But, it just wasn't, we talked about it, but it wasn't. And we got home on a Sunday, and I own a Montessori school, have for 30 years this year. And we got to school on Monday and, talk. And by Tuesday, they were closing schools. And by Thursday, our county, we closed our school. And I thought, so I'll be honest, at first, I was like, this is great. I'll be quarantined at my little farm. I can ride my horses, work on my garden. I was, honestly and a little selfishly was like, that's great because we'll start back after spring break and we just got a longer time. And then it kept going and it kept going. And we were working hard and trying to figure out how schools looked in this virtual world, which, especially in a Montessori school, we're all about hands-on. So virtual, our staff had to basically start all over, and it was hard and challenged, and my staff was incredible. And then time kept going and going, and I kept thinking, okay, we'll start back. Well, it was the perfect storm, and long story short, I had to make the difficult decision to not open my school. And that has been a real emotional part of this. I've been angry at COVID. I've been angry at watching. I have had some friends who have lost loved ones, and it's been a challenge. And I went from March enjoying having time off and thinking, oh, I'm fine, I'll just quarantine for a little bit, and then life gets back to normal. And as we all know, that has not happened. And I think on a personal side, that isolation and not. You can talk on the phone to friends, and of course, Chrissy and I talk all the time, and Ethan, and this group of advocates that I have met who are my dearest of friends, but that we've lost that connection of seeing people, and that's hard for me. I'm a real relationship, meet people, and like Ethan said, March was the last time I hugged, and just that whole different atmosphere of what it is now, and being a teacher and an administrator in a school and watching children who now wearing masks, and it's changed. I went to the grocery store, and people don't know if you're smiling or not, and it's just a different. And I'm convinced we're on the upswing, and things are going to get better. But it's been a challenge personally. But what I'm going to really want you all to think about are, first of all, people who struggle with OCD and also addiction. It's going to be that isolation, and nothing worse when someone's struggling with addiction is isolation. And so I'm scared, and I'm worried about how what it looks like in the future. And I think more than ever, we're going to need all our advocacy work, Gamechangers, everything that we do is going to be super powerful in helping people that are going to need this, because we don't. If you're isolated and you think about it, I mean, we talk, but when you're really isolated, and that's finally started really bothering me, is I can't go see people, and I'm so used to that, and there's a lot of times I'm alone a lot, and I know somebody who's struggling with OCD and addiction, or either or, is really going to be struggling right now. So I'm grateful to be a part of this organization and have these advocates that are doing incredible things for people. So donate, please. Every little bit helps. I did put a timer.
No, we are all good. And
we good?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the addiction piece. When I talk about OCD Gamechangers, I'm going to talk about what we're going to be doing in 2021. And so that will be a good pre-something to what I'm going to be talking about later.
Whatever works. And I have a fire. If I can kind of like get my shoulder, there you go.
There it is.
I do have a fire back there.
It's too hot to do that in Georgia.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to wait till about 9 o'clock before you can do that.
Well, Margaret, thank you for being here, all that you do for our
Thank you.
community, and of course, all you do for Game Changers and just me. You know, I love you.
Oh, I love you too, Chrissy. This
All
is
right.
awesome. Keep on going. This is great.
It
All
is.
right.
It is.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Awesome. I'm so glad you brought that up because later on you're going to hear more about what Game Changers is going to be doing. Woo! Okay, who we got next? Oh, we got Mr. Chris Baer. Woo! Coming live to you from New York.
Hey, how are you? Hopefully,
I'm good.
let's see. I went off YouTube.
Thank you for being here, Chris. I just want to share with you, I remember having our fireside chat, and I just remember how surreal it was talking to you, being in New York, and I'm all like out here in the middle of nowhere in Colorado, and it's like, whoa, you were really in it. So that was really eye-opening for me. So just wanted to thank you for that. And I'm going to give you the floor. You got about 4 or 5 minutes. Tell us what you've been doing, how you've been, and how COVID has been for you.
Thanks, Chrissy, and hey, everybody. I hope you are doing okay, and happy holidays to you and all your loved ones and family. This has been a really odd year in so many ways. Chrissy, just to pick up what you were talking about, New York was the epicenter for a long time in March and April, and I think a lot of that being kind of forced to stay at home and not go, and the city being so big, but suddenly making it really small and only being a couple block radius for a long time. And when you come to the city, there's millions of people here, and somehow, Chrissy, you said you're in the woods. Well, part of me kind of feels like that as well. It's so small. We don't really do as much as we could. We don't take advantage of the city as much. And now that the pandemic has really spread across the entire country, the kind of anxiety that came from that and the fear that was here in New York in March and April and May is still here. And I think it's one of the reasons that at least our family is really serious about wearing masks, washing hands, keeping socially distant. I just was hearing Margaret speak about not seeing anybody. I mean, we haven't seen family and friends for a long time. We've Zoomed it up as much as we could. But, I have to say, I've been fortunate. We've been fortunate. My wife and I have been busy at work. We've been able to shift our jobs at home. The kids are doing mostly school online stuff, which hasn't been the best, but we're trying to make the best of it. And we do what we can to allow them to socially distant, see their friends or drive past people's houses and trying to make the best of this whole situation. I feel like we are fortunate. Every day I wake up and I can still breathe and I can still do the things I want to do is a good day. So the fact that I'm stuck in a small apartment and, it'll be over eventually and we'll get back to it. I think a lot of us thought it was going to be a few weeks and it turned into months. It's going to go on for a little while longer, but we've taken this time. I think when I talked to you last time at the Fireside Chat, this room was very different. We've taken the opportunity to renovate, paint, redo things. So, you make the best of the time that you have, and watching a lot of Netflix and reading a lot of books and doing a lot of online research and, helping out our community as best we can. I know this summer, everything's shift virtually. We were looking at to go to Seattle for the OCD conference. That didn't happen. So both my daughter and I helped out with the teen conference in the summer. Myself and Michelle Whitkin presented at the virtual conference that the OCD Foundation had. My daughter Vanessa and I both volunteered for Made of Millions and helped out with their their campaign over the spring that's continued, the No One Told Me campaign. So we've tried to stay as active in advocacy as we can, using the platform for Unstuck and the film as much as possible. There has been, one of the outcrops of this whole thing has been a lot more people have viewed the film. It's become searchable, and unfortunately, I think a lot more people are realizing maybe they need to understand what OCD is, and it's helping their families and friends. So the film has still been an active part of a lot of people's lives. We're glad it's there. We're glad people can access it. And I think the looking forward to 2021, getting out of this year, but it's going to be kind of fun to announce that I'm going to be the MC to a parent and family OCD conference that's going to be happening on January 30th and 31st. So I'll be one of the MCs, supervising the weekend and helping like families and young kids. So, like let's say 6 to 10, 6 to 12. So a younger kids conference, more for parents, more for kids, and we'll be doing that in January. And thank you everybody for listening. I really have to say, donate Not Alone Notes. I love these guys. I got their coloring book. And Gamechangers, everything Chrissy's been doing the last couple of months, both organizations have done so much to help people around the world. If you can give 5, 10, 15, whatever you can to these organizations, it's fantastic. And get Not Alone, remember where you were in your journey, and every single dollar can help those in need and those who are alone and, needing help.
Excellent. Chris, thank you for being there. And yes, your room looks different because you have a beautiful tree back there.
I know. Well, that just came up today. But yeah, the playroom is now a dining room. COVID.
Thank you. And thank you for always sharing. Your insight is always appreciated. And thank you for all that you do for the community. And I hope to be able to see you sometime next year.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed the OCD conference comes here in July, and we can see everybody in person and hang out and enjoy New York City.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for
Happy
being
holidays.
here.
Happy New Year. Donate. Scan that button.
All right. Yes, you heard the man. Donate. I know right now it's hard to think, Christmas is coming up. Well, donate in someone's name as a Christmas gift. That way, what we can do is we're really talking about the importance of OCD, our community, and with OCD, whether you're a family member of someone, whether you have it, whether you're a therapist, there is nothing better than a community. And that's what OCD Gamechangers does here. And that's why we're all here tonight, a community talking about our experience to help everyone feel less alone. And so with that, this person definitely makes no one feel alone because he's so amazing. Brian, thank you for being here.
What's up, friend?
Yeah. So Brian was a speaker at OCD Gamechangers in March. We got to hug and then didn't, see anybody for 9 months. So
I still remember going to that Costco with you and looking at all the people hoarding the toilet paper, and we're like, is this a thing? What is going on?
I mean, if I can recall, Brian, I think I was making fun of people.
We didn't realize what the heck was happening around us at the time, but now we know. The joke's on us.
Well, I'm gonna let you get to it. You've got 4 or 5 minutes. Talk to us about how it's been for you since our fireside chat. Yeah.
Thank you, Chrissy, for having me, and just thank you to everybody that's a part of this just beautiful, amazing community that's doing so much incredible work out there. Also, big congrats. Shout out to Not Alone Notes as well. Love hearing the new announcement and just everything that you two continue to do. Gosh, where to begin, right? With everything that we've all been experiencing over the last several months. I think when I like to kind of categorize I'm going to start my timer here so I don't get yelled at. To kind of categorize what this experience has been like for me, one of the words that I think definitely comes to mind is this kind of leaning into simplicity and how powerful that really can be. I think that's been a real challenge, obviously, for a lot of us to have to simplify in such drastic ways and not be able to see, our friends like we used to see our family, maybe like we're used to doing, and to go to concerts and going to sporting events and doing all the things. But I will say, at the beginning of all of this, when COVID really hit, I ended up kind of quarantining with my family out at our lake place, and I spent like a good 2 to 3 months out there with it was me, it was my parents, my sister, my sister's husband, her baby, and my brother. We all lived under one roof all together. We never thought that we would really do that again in our lives, and it was honestly for me I've actually felt during COVID oddly more connected to people than I have in a really long time, because I think I live in Minneapolis. I live in downtown Minneapolis, and I think sometimes day to day, there's like so many options of what to do. Like there's like expectations to go to this and that and like do all the things. And sometimes that can be like so overwhelming for me that like it feels a little paralyzing to feel like I have to be doing a bajillion different things all the time. And so just waking up every single day out there at the lake place and like not having a lot of options of what to do every single day, I found actually really freeing and like really put a lot of things into perspective for me about just maybe less is more, right? And I hope that that's something that we can all take with us after this is all said and done. I mean, of course, we want to get back to doing all the things that we love to do, but I think the power of really just simplifying and also valuing connection, right? So I would say simplicity, a big learning lesson for me throughout all of this. And then also the power of just people and connection. As somebody who struggles with OCD, and when intrusive thoughts get really, really intense, and when the shame cycle starts to really kick in for me, I really, really want to isolate, right? And kind of my knee-jerk reaction is to really push people away. And I think this has taught me a lot about, through being around my family and spending time with them and just kind of leaning into the connections that I hold really dear in my life throughout all of this. I've recognized how important it is and how much better I feel, right, when I have people in my life and when I'm engaging in that connection. So that has been a huge lesson for me. As far as what I've been up to, I have been super honored to be a part of a community that myself and my really dear friend Kelly Grosslogs have created online. We literally started it right at the beginning of quarantine. We did Facebook Lives where we would do them twice a week. We started out and just kind of like talking about different subjects every week, mental health, grief, life focus, just all the things that we were all experiencing. And there's been this really incredible community of people that we've been able to be a part of, doing now weekly Facebook Lives and just checking in and kind of being a part of a virtual community when we can't physically be a part of a community. That's been absolutely incredible. I've started hosting some Monday night meditations. I'm a yoga teacher, and so I've been just putting myself on Facebook and Instagram, which has been really kind of overwhelming and out of my comfort zone at times, but leading every Monday night on my Facebook page and on my Instagram channel, a half-hour meditation, just kind of offering that up out there as a way to help kind of ground people throughout everything that we're experiencing. And I've also, breath work has become a really powerful tool for me, kind of in my mental health toolkit. I've done a lot of work, obviously, in the OCD realm of kind of leaning into uncertainty and working with ERP and ACT has been really, really powerful for me with my mind. And this breathwork technique that I kind of stumbled upon during quarantine and during COVID has really helped me with kind of the emotional side of recovery and kind of releasing a lot of emotions that I'm not always super great about kind of letting go, right? I kind of tend to internalize things. And so it's been a really beautiful tool for me to practice that regularly. I went through a training actually a few weeks ago, went through one a few weeks ago to start teaching it to other people. So that's been something also that I've been up to. But I think I'm at 5 minutes and I don't want to go over. I know we're kind of running a little bit behind, but yes, or we're running heavy or whatever we want to call it. But thank you, everybody. Thanks for having me. Chrissy, you're the best. Not alone notes. You guys are awesome. And I hope everybody donates.
I love how you're like, I got to set my timer so you don't get yelled at. I mean, people are going to think I'm horrible.
You're the best. More like, I don't want to yell at myself. I don't want to ruin the show.
Well, thank you so much. I love you so much. You do so much for the community and just appreciate you being here.
So much love, my friend. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, wait, where are you? You're there. Okay, bye. Okay, we're going to catch up really quick. So we've got a couple people ready but we were going to talk about octopus, but we want to just move this along so we can get our speakers going. So Elise, just tell us really quickly what people need to do in order to possibly win an ornament. Yay!
Yes. So my name is Elise. I'm the founder of The Octopus. We are a OCD recovery and advocacy themed Etsy shop. Our campaign right now is not about Xmas. It's all about the obsessive Christmas disorder apparel we see around this time of year and are hurt by, and it only increases stigma. So I designed an ornament that we are giving away. So if you put hashtag not about Xmas, Christmas in the comments, we will pick some of you to win one for free. So get commenting.
Excellent. Thank you. Elise, we will bring you back on when we talk about Game Changers here in a little while. But yes, you put hashtag not about Xmas in the comments. You will be eligible to win this wonderful ornament. Yay! All right, Elise, thank you so much. And we will see you a little bit later to talk more about octopus.
Sounds good. See you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, so we're moving right along. Our next guest is Mike Hetty. Yay! Mike, I just want to quickly say, because I know we're a little bit behind time, so I want to keep it moving, but I want to say our chat was so meaningful to me because I remember that was when I learned about, not that I learned about it, but I just realized the risk tolerance piece. So it was like about some people are willing to take risks, some aren't. And it really helped me have empathy and compassion. So I just wanted to say that it was a really meaningful fireside chat for me. And I will let you have the floor for 4 or 5 minutes.
Thanks, Chrissy. Wonderful. So yeah, I'm glad it was meaningful to you. I think a lot of people are now looking at this and having COVID fatigue, which is concerning in its own right. I'm going to be short and sweet. That way we can try to get back on time for you guys. I'm really honored to be a part of this fundraiser, Gamechangers, Not Alone Notes. You guys are doing amazing work. And at the risk of sounding like an NPR fundraising ad, donate, donate, donate. I know I will. There's some really great speakers lined up today. Therapists, advocates, truly inspirational people I'd like to meet in person one day when this is all over, including you, Chrissy. So where things have been for me personally, it's been a bit of a roller coaster year. I would say personally, I'm doing good. I'm healthy. It's kind of been a bittersweet year in that way. I miss, like everyone else, family, friends, colleagues, my trivia team. I think these last several months have really taught us about what we might have taken for granted. I think they've given us an opportunity to test our resilience or test our mettle. And I think most of us are rising to the occasion. We're seeing a lot of people in these stressful times see an increase in their symptoms, an increase in depression, an increase in symptoms over across the board. And we're seeing a big demand for services. So professionally, things have been very busy. I've been doing a lot of treatment, doing a lot of training for OCD and anxiety disorders this year. And again, bittersweet. We're going through really terrible, unprecedented times, and professionally, things have been rewarding and quite educational. I've had a lot of family members who got COVID, gave us quite a scare. All of them have now recovered. No one was seriously hurt during the process, but I think it teaches us how close this can hit. And how important it is that we all were able to shift online, doing advocacy, doing treatment, socializing online. And I really think that this gives us an opportunity to be thankful, especially around the holidays. And as we enter into this new year, what kind of world are we wanting to create moving forward? And the landscape has completely changed. Conferences, opportunities to educate other people and to reach out to larger and larger audiences through these kinds of means here, like with the OCD Gamechangers and Not Alone Notes. So keep up what you're doing, Chrissy and Not Alone Notes. And everyone watching, please donate, donate, donate.
Thank you, Mike. So much appreciate that, and appreciate your message. And I know I think it's a really good reminder too, to remember how COVID has impacted each of us personally. Sometimes it gets a little bit political when we're thinking about the spectrum, but like hearing that you've, had family members that had it. I mean, it's important for all of us to remember that. So thank you for sharing that.
And thank you for having me on.
Yeah, we hope to see you in 2021 some point.
2021 in person.
I know. Thanks so much, Mike. Take
care, Chrissy. Bye.
All right. So our next guest is none other than Mr. John Hirschfield. Yay! I'm trying to think, like, one of the things that I remember from our fireside chats, there were memorable things too, but I do remember you were talking about how, like, your life had been different, being able to be at home. And then you were talking about how you were working out earlier in the day and like you just started crying in the middle of it. And I was like, oh my God, like I get that. And I remember feeling normalized. So thank you so much, John.
Yeah. I sometimes have these, I don't know, emotions or whatever, and they just kind of happen, and then they pass, and then I'm better. So, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give the floor to you, John. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in 4 to 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna set my my timer here so that you don't come to my home and murder me in my sleep. Okay.
I think that might have been what I threatened people. Bye.
I've never done a fundraiser thing before, so let me just, in case I forget, donate. As Mike said, donate. This is a good cause, run by good people. So if you have money to give it to this this cause. I wrote down some notes on the back of my dad calendar, my dad joke calendar. Where do dogs go when they lose their tails? To the nearest retail store. For real. Amazing. Gamechangers was the last trip that I took. I love traveling. I usually go to a bunch of different places every year for conferences and other things. And Gamechangers in Denver's last time that I went anywhere out of state. And it was a nice trip. And I remember we were in the car. It was me and Stephen Smith and a couple other people. And we're all like making out and licking each other's faces, and just that thing they do in movies where you just like huck a loogie into your hand and say, yeah, it's a deal. Yeah, so we're doing all that and felt really free. And then I remember Stephen Smith was reading some article that some scientists had just come out with that was like basically predicting everything that was going to happen, and it was very bleak and very dark, and it was everybody's going to have to be wearing masks, and there's going to be a lot of hand sanitizer going on. I remember thinking at the time, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. No way. Then I came home. Then somebody on a podcast said something like, the time for shaking hands is officially over. And it just registered. And then everything collided. Then COVID just landed on us. Right at that point, I went back to my office, talked to my staff, and left my office and never came back. And it was really jarring. It was kind of like a dream. It was the very confusing time. And it was like that switch from skepticism to actually recognizing what's really going on. I mean, COVID's a hoax, like OCD is an adjective, and it's changed a lot. And then on a personal note, I mean, I don't know. I maybe I'm supposed to feel guilty about this, but it's actually been a really incredible year. I changed careers from private practice to working at an institution where I've already been able to start doing things I couldn't do before in private practice. And I'm really excited about that because it means helping a lot more people with OCD. If you look at the picture at the top of the Facebook Gamechangers thing, look at my picture in there, because I've lost 30 pounds since then. Because apparently if you get up at 6 a.m. every morning for 9 months and work out, you lose weight and you get caught up on pretty much every TV show known to man. I've seen so many shows that I never had time for before. I haven't really left this room, but that's okay, because I finished up the second edition of the mindfulness workbook. I finished up the OCD workbook for teens, which comes out in March, which I'm excited about. And Sean Shinnock, who's a big advocate involved in Gamechangers, did amazing illustrations for that. So I'm super jazzed about that. I can see I'm already running out of time, so I'm going to just kind of end on this thought. The the hardest thing for me was that I was sad for my kids, thinking, well, they're not going to get these experiences that I had planned for them to get. My oldest started middle school in the midst of all this, the same middle school I went to down the street, but she hasn't actually ever been in the building. And lots of things, baseball games, going to the aquarium, the zoo, and things like that, we didn't get to do this year. And I felt sad for them. But as the years progressed, I've come to realize that actually they don't need me to be sad for them. And the truth is they're happy. And I think it's because they already understand something that I've taken a long time to learn, which is we're not the authors of this story. For them, this is just unfolding. It's just the next thing that happened. For me, it was like, well, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And when something different happens, I'm supposed to resist it. And this is my bell. This is the lesson we learned when we're trying to get mastery over our OCD, right? We don't control the next thing that happens. We just control how we relate to it, right? What we do with our behaviors. So I want to leave you on that note that, you're gonna suffer a lot less throughout this whole thing if you can try to look at it as something that's unfolding, because eventually the next page will turn and it'll be safe again, and we'll all get out there, we'll all hug, and we'll all meet in person, and we'll all go back to conferences and traveling and baseball games and the rest of it. Thanks, Chrissy, for all of your work. And again, donate to Not Alone Notes, to Gamechangers, and make this fundraiser happen. Thanks for having me.
That was a great perspective. I really appreciate that. Sometimes looking it through, and want to just really quickly, because then I'm going to take up time and I'm going to have to murder myself. And thank you for the humor, by the way. I was back there laughing. I don't know if you could see me, but one of the things that was hard for me during the beginning of the pandemic was, as an advocate, you reflect on what you've been through to help people get through it. And we couldn't reflect on this because there hasn't been anything like this in our lifetime other than 9/11. But this is just it's just so different. So having kind of that perspective of, what is it like for people that this is just one day at a time? That helps.
Yeah. And just one last note, for the OCD sufferers who are watching this, from my perspective, so many of you have really demonstrated your resiliency. The resiliency that it takes to live with OCD, I think, has helped, right? Here's this new thing that's pummeling you every day with bad information, and it's just another thing that's happening, and you can handle it. And I've just been really impressed with my clients, how well they've been doing.
Yes. Same here with doing peer support. Thank you, John. Always a pleasure. Miss you. Hope to see you next year.
Will do.
Bye. All right. Before we bring on our next few people, as I had promised before, I am bringing Elise back on. Yay! And we are going to quickly talk about, we're going to announce some winners, because I know you were putting the hashtag in the comments. Woo! Some of y'all are going to get some free ornaments, but just really quickly, I'm going to just run quickly, and then I want Elise to talk about her product and where you can buy it. I wanted to talk to you about what Gamechangers initiatives are that are coming up. And I can't give away too much detail because they're all we're all trying to figure out what we're going to do next year with the events. We usually do an in-person event, but this year we're going to push it a little bit farther out. We usually do it the weekend of March 1st or 2nd, selfishly, because that's my birthday. But this year, we're going to push it back a little bit to April or May. We're going to make that decision in the next couple of weeks with the board. We will probably have a virtual plus an in-person, safely a small, plus the mastermind. The mastermind is really the draw of the OCD Gamechangers event. For people who are speaking, we get together, we spend time together, form connections, form a network of support, because it's so important when you're doing OCD advocacy to have a support system. Advocacy is hard, and a lot of times people really, quote Aaron Harvey, I'm not really quoting him right, but I'm just going to say it. When you beat this, or you survive this massive illness, and then you come out on the other side and you want to advocate, and then there's no support there, it's hard. So OCD Gamechangers really wants to be just that pinnacle of support for people, whether you're looking to do a brand new advocacy project or you are entrenched in advocacy. And Elise is an octopus is one of those brand new initiatives that we are just so happy to partner and support and promote. So just really quick, we've been running focus groups for therapists this last quarter. We're going to run them again next quarter. And financial and cultural barriers, creating a resource network, and education and training. They have been phenomenal so far. We've come up with so many ideas. We're trying to figure out solutions to these barriers that just linger over our community, and to have all these minds together creating and looking for opportunities that Gamechangers can help solve these problems has been amazing. Your donations are going to go directly to these initiatives that we will start implementing early in 2021. So just so you know, these initiatives are planned, brainstormed, and are going to be put on by OCD therapists and the OCD Gamechangers board. Other things, just really quickly, as Margaret mentioned, OCD and addiction is a really important topic that's not talked about enough. We are teaming up with a lot of really cool people with lived experience who also treat OCD. We're going to be doing some really thoughtful panel chats, not just education on addiction, but thoughtful, like how to have empathy during a relapse. How do you talk to people when you're struggling with addiction? How do you understand if you are experiencing denial or shame about addiction? We're going to get to the heart of it. We need to reach people right now because addiction is so rampant right now with isolation. So we need to be able to reach people and create a platform of support for them to reach out to get help, and also to know that they're not alone. We are also teaming up with Tawana Watson, and we're going to do a hashtag Speak Your Truth. We're going to really be tackling some cultural problems that we're having in the OCD community. We're going to create some really cool events, and I'm just really excited to break down some of those barriers with her, and also the LGBTQ community, which we're working in the financial and cultural barrier focus group to already start a committee, already start some information and some support around that. So those are just a few of the things Gamechangers is going to be doing in 2021. So all of the donations are going towards those initiatives, and a portion is also going to Not Alone Toast. Now, Elise, tell us about what you do.
Yes. So I also just wanted to say I really feel that support from OCD Gamechangers as an advocate who's trying to get my feet in like a more permanent way of advocating. So I just wanted to say you're definitely hitting the mark on that. So the Octopus is, like I said, it's an Etsy shop. It's OCD advocacy and recovery focused. So our products are about either advocating for OCD, like the Not About Christmas ornaments, stickers, the shirt. I am wearing the shirt. OCD is not obsessive Christmas disorder. So that's one half. We also have some products that are focused on OCD recovery concepts, like embracing uncertainty, things like that. And all of that is for sale. And we do want to partner with organizations and donate back to them. For example, all of the Not About Christmas collection. So that includes the shirt, the ornament, the sticker. 20% of it is going to OCD Gamechangers, which I'm very excited about. So if you want to support in a different way, in addition to hitting the donate button up there, that would be a great way to do that. We definitely could get it in by Christmas if you put in your order by the 15th. So as long as you're doing that. And yeah, we have lots of stuff coming up in 2021 that we're very excited about. Just ways to really give people fun ways to advocate and also represent their values, living a life in recovery from OCD.
All right. Thank you, Elise. We're so excited to help you, support you, promote what you're doing. And I can't wait to see what happens in 2021 with all your cool products. So,
and then we have the 2 winners.
Yes, with that, Elise is going to announce the 2 winners. We're going to have more during this. Don't worry. You still have time to put hashtag Not About Xmas in the comments. And our 2 winners of an OCD, the ornament is...
Our first 2 winners are Deirdre and Catherine B.
Yay!
Woo!
So what we'll do is have y'all, should they contact you, Elise?
Yeah, sure. They can message me. So that is the Octopus on Facebook. The handle is the OCDOPUS, and you can message us on that. We're on Instagram. We're even on TikTok under the same handle. So whatever way is easiest for you, but definitely reach out so you can grab that.
Excellent. Thank you, Elise. You rock.
Thanks for having me, Chrissy.
All right, moving right along. Oh, wait, where is she? How do I? Oh, she's gone. Okay, well, I don't even have to worry about it now. Okay, moving right along. We have one of my faves coming up, Miss Allison Dotson.
Hi, why are you so sweet?
It's been so long since I've seen
know.
we've done advocacy together for years, and I was so excited to have you on the Fireside Chat, and I'm so excited to have you here. So, Allison, you got 4 or 5 minutes. Take it away. I know you better set the timer.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad I had a little space between like Brian and John, who were talking about meditation, losing 30 pounds, exercising at 6 a.m., writing a few new books, learning how to breathe better. And I'm like, so I'm here to tell everybody, if you didn't do any of those things, don't worry. I have been napping a lot, eating too many cookies, feeling down on myself, trying to do more, like take more walks. But I think it's also important, and not to John and Brian and anyone else who's done anything amazing this year and really taken the time to dig in deep and do healthy things for themselves is great. But I also want to recognize a lot of us are probably feeling isolated and depressed, and give you permission still, or forgiveness for the year, for not doing any of those things, for not learning how to bake sourdough bread, or writing the great American novel. And I think we talked about that a little bit in my fireside chat with Chrissy. And one thing we talked about too was kind of curating your social media so that it's more positive for you. And that's been a big thing for me this year, is to follow people who encourage me and inspire me, and do offer permission, to say, like, you're killing it. It's okay if you're not thriving in every part of your life right now. Whoa, made my table shake. It's still okay that you're just here and you're making it. And like, some days you're getting out of bed at a reasonable hour. That's fine. Napping is fine. Sleeping in is fine. Because we're still in this. This is the end of the year. It's the end of 2020, but COVID is still here. There's hope on the horizon. There's a vaccine. And I think we've learned a lot more about the virus, so that we can say, like, okay, we need to wear masks. We don't have to worry so much about, quarantining a box that shows up on our porch, as much as, how we behave in public and around other people. I have been lonely. I just want to acknowledge that. Like, I live alone. I've been so happy to be with my dogs, but I miss my friends. I miss my family. I'm not going to cry. Maybe I'll cry a little. I cry all the time. Chrissy knows this. It's like my goal not to cry.
You can cry. Go ahead.
No, I won't. But truly, it's been a rough year. Like, when you live alone, and you're not really allowed to see other people in a way that is meaningful to you, that's tough. So I think that it's given me some perspective on what matters to me. Like, I am a homebody. I am an introvert. I don't feel like I need to leave the house all the time or go out. That's not my personality at all. And it's not what makes me happy. But what does make me happy are my family and friends, and being in their presence, and not just on a screen or on a phone call. So I really want to embrace that when we finally can gather in a little more normal way, and where I don't have a, low grade panic every time I hug somebody. That's been rough. I feel like I've been a real stickler about all the guidelines. And when I deviate beyond them, I do panic. I have anxiety about it. And I feel the guilt and what if. And so, like, that part of the OCD has been rough for me. But I've also had a lot of support. Like, I know that my friends and family still love me, and that's important. And I think too, it helps me appreciate the little things. Like, I can't wait until I can go to a movie again and sit next to my friend and maybe share popcorn. Maybe not a drink, but maybe like we can stick both of our hands in the same thing of popcorn. I like excited about doing that. And, you know, just like going out to eat and sitting there and like not wearing a mask and like taking it off. So I want to embrace all those things without putting pressure on myself to say yes to everything just because I can now. So yeah, I guess that's my reflection, if you could call it that. I mean, it really, like I said, we're not done. Like Christy said, you know, like 9/11, not that it didn't extend past the event, but that was one day, and it was kind of like, okay, this thing happened, and now we can kind of like, how do we figure it out from here? Like, we're still in the midst of stuff, so it's hard to reflect on something that's still happening. Yeah.
No, what? No, I preface this event with however you're feeling with COVID.
Yeah.
And so your experience is appreciated and validated. There's, you know, I even like prefaced it, I think in an email, like, you don't have to wrap this in happiness and hope. Like this is because not everybody out there is wrapped in happiness and hope. And so being able to share that loneliness has been a factor for you and just struggling with when is it going to end? And I just, you know, I just appreciate you. I always appreciate how vulnerable you are. And so thank you.
You give me permission to be vulnerable because it always seems to happen when I'm with you.
I will definitely take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment. It's just like knowing that you can be real. And like I said, not to undo the accomplishments of people who have thrived, because that's amazing. But I think a lot of us aren't thriving, and like just being here is truly enough. And I'm so happy for everyone who is still here, and like, we just got to keep on holding on.
Yeah. Well, thank you. This was it was really good. I know that people are going to really appreciate their experience being validated through you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you, Allison. All right. So now we have Mr. Josh Patelnik. I see him over there. I think he's wearing a mask. First, before we go to Josh, I just want to say, if you don't know this, Josh has just revamped his amazing website with all these resources, and there's information about OCD peers too, so go there. Anxiety specialist of Atlanta.com. Josh, I'm gonna let you take it away, but I'm gonna tell you, if your voice is muffled with that mask on, I'm gonna come back on here. You have 4 to 5 minutes to talk about what has your experience been. Good to see you, my friend.
I heard 45 minutes, so I will take 45 minutes of your time. Chrissy and OCD Gamechangers, Not Alone Notes, thank you guys for so much for putting on this event. First of all, for those of you who celebrate, it's the third night of Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to the Jews out there. And for the octopus group out there, that could also be obsessive Hanukkah disorder with a C. So if you want to capitalize on that, jump on it. I was wearing this mask because my 5 minutes are filled with sort of two parts of the last 8 months of my life. And one is a lot of concessions that people have had to make in my family and colleagues. This mask was printed for my daughter's bat mitzvah that was postponed by about 6 months. So Christy, and for everyone listening, the last many months have involved a lot of sacrifices that I think are small for a lot of us to keep people healthy, to keep people at work. A lot of us who are clinicians have families and loved ones who support us and kids at home. I think I mentioned this probably on my fireside chat with you, Chrissy, but I'm grateful that I have a wife who can work, but also work at home and support kids while I do my job in my therapy role, which is hard to sneak in and out of sessions when you have kids with needs. So the last many months have required families to sacrifice quite a bit for those of us who do what we love as therapists and as clinicians. A lot of us have had to make significant sacrifices about seeing people around holidays, about the way we treat OCD, the way we provide what I think is sort of the best practices of anxiety services out there. And so clinicians around the country, around the world have had to make a lot of concessions and changes to keep people safe and healthy. And that's been a challenge. In the last few months, I have had a lot of fortune of adding more people to our team. We, getting into 2020, started off with 8 amazing clinicians. Right now we have 13 amazing OCD specialists in Atlanta, which I'm very proud about, and they're a great team, and they've dedicated their careers and profession to support people with anxiety and OCD. So the last many months have had a lot of changes, a lot of giving up. Even this weekend, some friends of my daughter's tested positive. And so we are now in quarantine phase right now for the next few days, making sure that we are testing negative and being safe. So that's been one part of the last many months of my life, and I think many people probably watching. But the other part for me has been a lot of inspiration and hope, and I appreciate that John Hirschfield and others have commented on just a lot of beautiful things that have happened for us as professionals. Some of us who are participating in this evening's event are part of a Facebook group put on by 2 awesome clinicians, Allison and Michelle, shout out to you two, who have brought a lot of professionals together to have rich discussions and talk about doing more out there. So there's people like Kim Quinlan, who's launched an ERP school, which is awesome, and John Hirschfield, who's now taken his practice and gone to Shepherd Pratt, and Mike Hetty, who was just on a while ago, who's taken on a much more active role in leadership and supervision of clinicians around the country. So it's just been amazing to watch OCD specialists step up and get more involved, do more podcasts, expanding their clinics, trying to bring on more clinicians, trying to train more awesome people. And so Chrissy, this organization, OCD Gamechangers, the International OCD Foundation, everyone who's doing a lot of advocacy work and direct treatment like my team, I'm just very grateful that we can do our work. We've seen a significant uptick in mental health reach out. People talking about mental health. We're now just not admitting that we have medical health. Coronavirus has really opened up our eyes to talking about mental health. So as sad as that is, and as much pressure and burden there is on clinics around the country and around the world to support people with mental health needs, I'm loving that the dialogue is happening. I'm loving that these kind of events are happening. And so I know Anxiety Specialists of Atlanta will be donating to this cause without a doubt, and I hope all of you do. So Chrissy, OCD Gamechangers, Not Alone Notes, everyone on this panel tonight who's doing this, thank you for being a part of this. For those of you watching, thank you for listening and spending some time with us this evening. And Chrissy, I love all the advocacy work you do. The updates we made on our website, you're all over it. You've made a big impact in my professional life, so I'm just grateful for that. And I'm grateful to be here tonight. So happy Hanukkah. Love to you guys. And I hope to see you, Christy, and everyone else in person very soon.
I know, Josh, I so much appreciate you. I hope you know that. I hold you to a very high esteem, and I just love you. And thank you for all that you do. I look forward to our collaborations in the future.
Go Dogs.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Don't worry, Steve. I'm not going to cry this time when I introduce you. I mean, maybe I won't. Probably haven't had enough wine just yet. So the next guest that's coming on is very special to me. I'm going to blow him up a little bit. This would be my personal therapist from back in the day, who he doesn't like it when we say that if it wasn't for him, that our lives wouldn't be the same, or that he changed our lives. But I'm sorry, Steve, I just reject that, and I'm not going to validate you. This is Steve Phillipson, and Steve is literally, even if I use that wrong or whatever, he is the reason why I am here today. And I know you know that, Steve, and I want you to accept that. But I want everybody out there to know that this man did therapy with me in 1998 over the phone in Georgia when I just didn't know up from down. And he put me on the pathway to be able to create this organization, to connect with all these people. So no pressure, Steve, but literally this night would not exist without you.
You are a pain in the neck, Chrissy. Certainly put me on the spot, and I reject your entire premise. You did amazing work.
You'll take the risk and live with the uncertainty.
You teamed up with me, and we did great work together. It was a total pleasure, even though I had no idea what you looked like. I know. You were a voice on the phone, and you were a college student, and
with a big Southern accent.
But one of my favorite moments is when I met you for the first time, and I no one knows this, but you're 5'11". Chrissy's a very, very tall woman. And I'd never met her before. And I said, Chrissy, you're so tall. And you looked at me and you said, Steve, I never knew you were so short. And I'm 6 feet. So I appreciated that feedback, and that it wore in my, kind of consciousness ever since then.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. I'm going to give the floor to you, just so you know how much it means to me that we are colleagues and friends. And, I just love you, and you are the reason I'm here, and I'm not going to let you argue.
So it's a very funny day today. I actually visited the memorial for 9/11 today. I've never been there before, even though I'm a New Yorker. And it's interesting because after the crisis of 9/11, I noticed a very peculiar thing amongst my patients, and that was that my OCD patients were not so concerned about terrorism. They were not so distressed about the terrorist attack. They were still focused on their obsessional theme. And I actually wrote an article on my website, ocdonline.com, talking about how persons with OCD were the least distressed of all of my patients in terms of the crisis that had happened, because their brains were so focused and preoccupied still with their own thematic crisis within their OCD theme. And now that we're in a second crisis in this country, I've noticed a very similar thing. Very, very few of my patients are focused on coronavirus and them catching it or getting sick. Many of them are focused on making sure that grandma doesn't die and that they don't give the disease to grandma and kill her. But for themselves, they're very, very not focused on catching it and being victimized by this virus. And many of my friends are like, oh, your practice must be booming because of corona. And I say, actually, it really hasn't been impacted that much, because I have a specialty with OCD, and coronavirus, like the catastrophe of 9/11, is affecting the general population much more than the OCD population, because they're so distracted by the condition. Today was the first day I actually rode on a subway, actually probably in about a year or so. And I was happy to say that I was very comfortable on the subway, and I didn't find it too threatening. And, New York City has been so affected by the general public's concerns over this virus. It's really a tragic ghost town. It's down probably about 75% in terms of its occupancy and street traffic, because the general population is reacting with profound distress, anxiety, and they're being influenced tremendously by politicians and the media in terms of all the precautions they need to take. I was walking on the street without a mask, and a woman walked by, and she covered her face as if I was some carrier of some toxic influence. But generally speaking, when we met Chrissy in the Fireside Chat, and I think it was March, and yes, your Game Changer visit was one of my last travel experiences. I came home, we met, I think, March 12th. It ended on March 12th, and I came home, and by the 13th, New York City shut down and has been a catastrophe ever since then. I feel tremendous remorse for restaurant workers and other people in the service industry who are so catastrophically impacted by the way that this condition is being managed. But generally speaking, I still think the distress for persons in this city, in this country, is the unknown. I said to you in March, I said, the problem with this virus is that we don't know where the finish line is. And I thought back then the finish line would be June by the furthest outset. Certainly by June, this will all be cleared up. And here we are, in December, and we're still praying that the vaccine is going to be a savior for a person's sense of security. And last week I heard, oh, they didn't test whether or not people who have the vaccine might still be able to carry the disease and transmit it. Sure, they can't get it themselves, but maybe they can give it to other people. And these types of rumors and these types of concerns create tremendous distress and uncertainty. And I think that we're still potentially a long way away from being able to kind of reclaim a sense of normalcy. And for OCD sufferers and the country at large, it's really still a catastrophe, psychologically speaking, because humans, as I said in March, are not designed to deal with a threat that has no finish line to it. So, Chrissy, if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to take them.
I think your 4 to 5 minutes is up.
Oh, I wasn't looking at my clock, and that's absolutely fine. I appreciate your terminating this then.
Now, I want to tell you that you were the first fireside chat, Steve. You were the first one. And I remember thinking, like, I just want to hear what Steve has to say about this. And you kept saying, what did you say? You were like, humans are like monkeys. And we are designed to be connected. And you talked a lot about your experience in 9/11 and how different this was. And so I just, that stuck with me because I think that you put the words to how I was feeling. And also the finish line piece was something that was hard for me the first few months. So, but yeah, that's all. We just wanted you to check in and let us know how you've been doing since. And any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are we're still like monkeys, and I encourage everyone out there to keep a very scheduled life process. I think that the greatest risk to humanity is a lack of structure. And when people, have a day-to-day lack of differentiation between the week and the weekends, it's very, very catastrophic for us emotionally. So I think that it's really important that we all try to keep really structured life and keep meaningful choices in our life process.
Excellent. Well, Steve, thank you for being here. I know it's a little late over there in New York, but just appreciate you being here.
I'm actually in New York City this weekend. So even though the city's supposed to shut down at 10 p.m. because we all need to be protected after 10 p.m., I'm trying to make the best of it.
All right. Well, thank you as usual. I will see you at OCD Peers on Monday. Yes.
Absolutely.
Steve Phillipson is doing a Q&A at OCD Peers, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to ocdpeers.com to sign up and ask Steve anything that you want to know. I mean, well, you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anything at all.
I will see you then. Thank you so much. Okay. And I hope it's like ethically okay for me to say love you.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Bye. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then before we bring on all our next peeps, so Morgan and Molly of Not Alone Notes, don't take the floor. Tell us about Not Alone Totes. Give us all the details. Tell us who's in the bags. Tell us what's going on. Right. We've got about 3-4 minutes.
Okay, so we have so many cool things people have donated, and if you have something you would like to donate for future rounds, please reach out to us, and we would be happy to work with you because we want to make this as sustainable as possible. So we have a little bag from Picking Me Foundation. I'm not going to show you exactly what's in here because that'll give too much away, but basically it's a bunch of mini fiddle toys because a lot of people with OCD, we need to fiddle to keep from like FRBs. And
I'm fiddling now.
Yeah, exactly.
Fiddling the whole time. I love fiddle
toys. So Picking Me Foundation. We have from Stick With It Inc. some really cool stickers with like cool calligraphy and her business card, another Etsy shop. Sean Shinnock. No, I can't pronounce it. Strong Your Monster. His might be the coolest ever. We have pins and stickers. So his is like using art to express yourself and face your fears. We have the OCD Stories. We know that podcast. They just passed 5 years. Congratulations, Stu. So we have a sticker. We have a coupon for Mindfulness School for OCD, 25% off from Kimberly Quinlan. I feel like I'm on like The Price is Right. A lovely journal. This caused a lot of tension between Molly and I because she wanted spiral notebooks and I wanted composition notebooks. But we had our writers vote and I won by 1 vote.
Tell us in the comments what you like more, spiral notebooks or composition. Too late now, but
composition notebooks. And I got a mix of college rule and wide rule, which was apparently the wrong choice, but whatever. It's fine. And then we had some wonderful authors either donate or give us books at a discounted rate. And on the application, you get to decide or rank like what sort of book you want. So we have a coloring book from Amanda, all about exposures. We have Finding Perfect by Ellie Swartz. This is a middle grade fiction book, so geared a little younger, but I loved it, and I'm 25. It was one of my favorite books about OCD. We have John Hirschfield, Everyday Mindfulness for OCD. And we are going to continue reaching out to more authors, and on the application, like I said, you can rank whether you want a coloring book or a workbook or things like that. And so if you know someone who's early in the OCD journey, send them to our website, to our Instagram bio. We have a link to the application, and donate so we can send these and keep it sustainable.
And what you can do right now is donate now. This is a fundraiser. We are here. You are here. Every single dollar matters. Bring it home, y'all. Head on over to OCDGameChangers.com. You are not only funding OCD Game Changers 501c3 nonprofit, but not alone notes 501c3 nonprofit. Every single donation.
We're so close to 501c3. We're a nonprofit, but we're so close to 501c3.
Almost. Like they're like 1 inch away. So either way, your donation is going to go towards this amazing initiative. We are so excited to be able to help support them. And we're so excited that you're here tonight. Any final thoughts before we move on?
Just donate and send that application around to people who need it.
Not alone. Totes. All righty, y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Okay, so let's move right along. I knew he was next, but I just double checked to make sure I was correct. Mr. Aaron Harvey. Aaron's been a partner of ours for years. He was at the original Gamechangers. He was here last year. I just love Aaron. You know I love you. And I'm so excited that you're here. And Aaron does so much in our community. If you don't know about Made of Millions, good Lord, know about Made of Millions and intrusivethoughts.org. So, well, it used to be intrusivethoughts.org, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Aaron, I'm going to give you the 4 to 5 minutes. Here you go. I'll be back. Love you. Have fun.
Cool. Hey, real quick, can you hear me okay? I think so. I think it's working. It's good. Chrissy will pop back if it's not. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Chrissy. She does amazing work, and always excited to support what she's doing and get involved however we can at Made of Millions. And same goes with Morgan and Molly at Not Alone Notes, doing super cool work. I think what's awesome about the OCD community is kind of that rising tide lifts all boats mentality, and that, you know, all of us banding together, even though we might have our own distinct entities, different nonprofits, different efforts, like working together to try to increase and improve OCD awareness is something that's just super important, and that we can all benefit from. So with that said, what do I talk about? So for 3 minutes, I think for me this year, maybe a slightly different perspective, maybe not. Being based in New York City, it was really, really difficult watching the country being pulled apart. And I think seeing some things firsthand, like citizen on citizen violence, police violence, you know, seeing cars being lit on fire and, you know, all kinds of crazy things that, you know, I saw at an arm's length distance during that time period, protesting and being in the streets and, you know, really observing what was happening in my neighborhood, you know, walking down 2nd Avenue and watching every window being bashed out. It was super intense, and it was something I'd never experienced before and something I hope to never experience again. I think it was just an overall feeling of sadness. You know, the pandemic in New York went from went from like just dead silent, lockdown East Village where I live, just being like so quiet you could hear a pin drop, to then helicopters and sirens 24/7 and flashbangs and stuff. So that was really intense. And then, you combine that with the pandemic. I'm also a business owner. I own an agency called Ready, Set, Rocket. We do a lot of marketing work, and just looking at the business toll, it was extremely difficult to look at. Of course, the worst part of it all was one of my business partners lost her mom and her uncle, and almost lost her dad to COVID-19. And so to see the human toll as well was really difficult. So I think, all that said, I've been very blessed and very fortunate that I'm not sick and that I'm financially well, and we can keep doing great work with Made of Millions, with OCD Peers, Not Alone Notes. And I think a few of my quick little insights to share would be, one, like, this was a great year to reflect and learn. I think I've been in the agency branding space for about 11, 12 years now. And I think having to take the whole company remote just really helped me reprioritize my own thinking on wanting to work on more creative projects, wanting to work on more nonprofit projects, and things that can really make an impact. And so that's something that now I have to hold myself accountable to and make actionable next year. And then from a growth perspective, I think all the learning that we have in the OCD community, I know Dr. Phillipson said a lot of it had to do with self-preoccupation with your own obsessions, which I agree with, but also the idea that we're so used to managing uncertainty that, throwing more uncertain things in the mix is actually something we can handle pretty well if we've had that kind of training before. We've done some mindfulness and some ERP and some things like that. So I think those are amazing behavioral skills. I know a lot of people with OCD and high anxiety who had been treated prior to COVID, I think handled the pandemic a lot better. And then third, like, we all just going into next year, we need to act. We need to improve the reach of this community. I'd love to be in a position where we no longer have to call people out for saying I'm so OCD. I think, anything that we do and can get involved in and diversifying this community, we tend to be a bit insular and talk among ourselves. So any way that we can get out and bring this conversation to a greater audience and a more diverse audience is something that I think we should all be aiming for next year. So I think that's it. I think that's 5 minutes. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Definitely support OCD Gamechangers and Not Alone Notes and OCD Stories and everybody else in the mix, because everyone's doing important work and it's not a glamorous job and there's not a lot of cash involved. So it's always helpful to get a little bit of expenses covered so we can make better resources.
I do want to say, and if you don't know this, your organization, Made of Millions, is just really an organization for all of us to look up to on how just thoughtful you are about all the things that you're talking about. I mean, you really have created something that's just that's something that all of us have to strive for. Like, there's the diversity, the inclusivity of culture. I just constantly look at your stuff and just admire how you really dig in, and kind of look to you as someone just that I admire, and that hopefully Gamechangers follows in your footsteps. So thank you for all that you do. I hope you know how important you are to this community.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Aaron. I'm sure I'll be seeing you next year. I have no worries about that. Whether we are surfing together in California or you're parking in my driveway in your Airstream.
One or the other. All right.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. So next up is Rob Lancer. And I have to say, and I probably shouldn't say this because this is so biased, but my fireside with Rob was probably like one of my favorites. Because we laughed so much. It was, I should have like watched it back before I saw you tonight, but I just remember like how hilarious it was. It was just so fun. So anyway, I'm so glad that you're here tonight. And your pup.
My pup, and I upgraded from a PlayStation headphone to actual, like a real legit headset. It's been my accomplishment for 2020.
All right, I think we're done here. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Rob. You got 4 or 5 minutes. Give us the insight. Tell us a little bit about what has happened for you during COVID 2020 since we last chatted. Now we'll see you soon.
Thank you. So I think it's wonderful to be able to watch and see all the wonderful work everyone's doing. Not Alone Notes made of millions. Everyone collaborating on coming together as a community. It's much needed. I think that the greatest insight is the slowing down and ability to reflect and giving us time in maybe not the most ideal way to have to slow down, think, rethink, and reposition ourselves in a time of need. I think that some of the greatest things I've seen is the connection between people, the giving, the help that others have so generously donated their time. And I think that this is a good start, and we need to remember what everyone's going through now, so when it's hopefully over, we can go back and think of all the promises we made to help others and continue moving forward. I'm very excited to actually meet everyone in person for OCD Gamechangers, hopefully 2021. I'm in New York. Things are shut down, opening up, shut down, opening up. But I've had the opportunity to reach out and talk to a lot of people, and this is a difficult time. I know being isolated is creating a lot of anxiety and fear, but we are together. And I actually am glad that I've been watching for the last almost 2 hours, because I already feel like I've met wonderful people, and I look forward to meeting them in person. I donate to OCD Gamechangers, and Not Alone Notes. I just found out about tonight. It's wonderful, and I wish everyone the best, and hope to see everyone next year in person.
Yes, I mean, we will know a little bit more about whether it will be semi in person or virtual or whatever. But either way, Rob, I can't wait to hang out with you in person. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, tons of fun.
Thank you so much for being here. And again, I just want you to know, our fireside, brought me so much joy. So
I do. You said how wonderful my accent was. I owe you one. I owe you one. I'm gonna get you. I just haven't thought of it yet. It's been a little slow, but I owe you one.
I know. I can't wait. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you, hopefully 2021, but at some point we will. And I just really appreciate your support.
And also a call out to you. I'm always seeing on Instagram doing wonderful things with your candidness and ability to show your vulnerable side. It brings me chills sometimes, and I think it's very courageous of you and courageous of everyone else to be able to do that, because it's not easy, and it's passing it forward and showing everybody to be brave, be strong, and even in the darkest times, we could all be together and support each other.
Thank you. And with that, I'm just going to give a shout out to my Instagram at PureOChristy. All right, Rob. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great holiday season. And
happy holiday, everyone.
We will catch up in the new year. I'm looking forward to it.
Take care.
Bye. Okay, y'all, we are just rolling right along with all these awesome people, and that is not short of the next person. I know y'all all know her. I don't even need to give an introduction to Natasha Daniels, who is a kick-ass advocate therapist, the one and only go-to. Stop. Parents, teams, just take it.
I can't.
Natasha was in the first few Fireside Chats. So when we first started talking, I think it was that Tuesday. So I think you were the second or third. And I remember meeting with you and just still feeling very much in shock. It was a very weird, just that whole week was so weird. And I was so grateful to be able to meet with you and just, kind of feel the perspective. We were kind of comparing the states that we were in. So anyway, thank you. And of course, thank you for all that you do for this community. I'm going to give you 4 to 5 minutes. Tell us how you've been. Tell us what life has been like since the fireside, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Well, my social anxiety is going to make me hit my start button on my 4 o'clock timer. Definitely donate. I just want to start with that to make sure that OCD Gamechangers and Not Alone Notes gets donations. I've donated, I think, more than ever. We need that. We need to support these organizations that are doing such good work, and people are feeling really overwhelmed and isolated. So we need that. What's going on with me? Well, it's been a really weird year. And I want to say, like, for me, like, a lot hasn't changed. I've been doing virtual therapy, and I'll go into a little bit about what I've been doing, because I think parents have been feeling very unsupported, you know, they're disconnected. And so they have needed a lot of online support. But the biggest thing I've seen is just like my kids, and having kids with OCD and anxiety and watching them has been really interesting. You know, it's been really helpful for my son, who has been able to stay at home a lot of the time and really connect. And it's been super hard for my 9-year-old, who didn't have any germ-related OCD issues, and now, like, we're in the thick of things. Her brother had a student in his class who had COVID, and now, like, he's contaminated. And so, like, the things that we're dealing with that we've never had to deal with at home has been a lot more stressful. And my 17-year-old, who's like pretty isolated, living in her bat cave. So I think the stress has just been more of like watching it play out for my kids. And I like what John had said, that this was, I think it was John who had said, like, this is their journey. And like, you know, that I don't really get to control that. You know, I just get to be part of that and support them. The cool thing is that I do feel like priorities have shifted, and like, we've watched COVID get closer and closer into our little bubble. You know, it used to be like a friend of a friend, or somebody at work on the 4th floor of my husband's work got COVID, and you're like, do you know who it is? Or somebody in the school district got COVID. And it's just like, in the last few weeks, it's gotten closer and closer to now it's like somebody who sat with you at lunch has that. So that's very overwhelming. I think it's just become closer, but it's also gotten us to connect more. And I've noticed, just as I'm like preparing Christmas gifts and thinking about what we're going to do alone for the holidays, we're always alone anyway. I have social anxiety, so like, there's not a lot of connection going on there, but I'm getting experiences. Like, I'm getting subscription boxes, and I'm getting like things that we're going to do together, and very few toys, because my kids want experiences. So it has been, it hasn't been all bad. It's scary right now because I feel like it is getting closer, but providing online resources for parents has been really rewarding too. I have noticed a flood of people who are either spending so much more time with their kids that they're like, oh my gosh, I think that there's some OCD there. So I think we're getting a lot more awareness because you're with your kids 24/7, but also I think it's been very triggering. And so I'm seeing a lot of new cases of OCD with kids. And the kids that have had it are incredible and resilient, but parents are needing, I'm going to stop this before it starts to chime on me. Parents are needing that online support. So I've been super busy. I've actually scaled back my private practice, and I'm just working a lot more online, doing resources for parents so that globally people can access that. So please donate to these amazing foundations like OCD Gamechangers, Not Alone Notes. I've used Not Alone Notes before. I've watched a lot of OCD Gamechanger stuff, Made of Millions, OCD Stories. These are all just amazing resources. So definitely we got to support them. And Octopus, which I'm totally going to buy some merch because that's cool.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for the donation. We really so much appreciate it. And yes, the merch is so amazing. I bought a ton of the ornaments, and they're ceramic. She wants everyone to know. They're not plastic. Nice. They're ceramic in their shirts too. So thank you so much, Natasha. Just so much appreciate you. I can't give you enough accolades, even though I know that you're going to be like, no, but it was the same with Steve. He's like, no, but whatever. Everybody knows you're awesome. And you really you have just really hit the nail on the kind of like the demographic of the OCD community that needs so much attention. So we appreciate you. We just appreciate your partnership and hope to do so much more with you in 2021.
Absolutely. Thank you. You're awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon.
Okay.
All righty, y'all. We're going to bring on Elise. Where are you at? There you are.
I was like, I'm here.
Elise and Octopus. We're just gonna really quickly. We've got more giveaways. Yay! We've got three, right?
Yes, 3 more ornaments being given away. And thank you for that note about the ceramic. Always forget that part. All right, our next 3 winners are Becky, Sarah H, and Brooke S. Yay! And I have the last names. If anyone's unsure, just message me and I'll confirm if it was the last name. But I'm not gonna give everybody all your business on the air. But yes, congratulations.
So tell people if they have won, what should they do next?
Yes, so if you have won, look for our Facebook page or Instagram, whatever platforms you're on. Obviously, you're on Facebook or YouTube right now. And you can go to the handle that's on the screen right now at the Octopus. Send me a private message, and then I'll get the details from you that we need in order to get this ornament to you in time to put it around your house before the holiday season is over.
Okay, and then we're pushing for sales.
Yes.
For Octopus, right? I mean, y'all, I'm gonna come in real quick, Elise, right here. I know I just cut you off, but I'm gonna tell you because y'all know how it is. I just like to tell it. Everybody gets pissed. Well, I shouldn't say that. I would say majority of people get pissed about the Target obsessive Christmas disorder sweater. No. And then all the other things that come up, like obsessive chocolate disorder, obsessive coffee. Y'all stop it. And our whole community has felt in the last 2 years, like, what are we supposed to do about this? And, we're just going to get mad and we're arguing with people in the comments. And you know how it is. It just blows up. Well, here comes Elise. Okay, here comes Elise. She's like, I ain't taking this anymore. I ain't taking it. And she comes to me like, a month and a half ago. And she's like, I have this idea. And I was like, hells to the yes. Right? It is about time someone came out and pushed back against that damn sweater. Elise, yes.
Thanks, Chrissy. I just like, they're going to keep putting it out. And if big retailers don't put it out, it's all over Etsy. If you Google obsessive Christmas disorder, it's me with the anti-gear and then 10,000 people who are still trying to sell you the obsessive Christmas disorder gear. There's trademarks on it. Like, people want claim to this. And I'm like, no, I want you to be humiliated by this. And I'm working on it and I'm coming for you. And now we can all come for you and benefit Gamechangers at the same time.
Yes. And like I've told Elise before, this is just Christmas #1. That's it. And to piggyback on what Aaron Harvey said earlier, like at some point, this has got to stop. All this trivializing of OCD and all this stuff. And Elise, you are one of those people that has started that movement. So thank you. And this is why we love you and we back you and support and promote you. So go and buy her product, y'all. I know we're asking a lot. Donate to us. Donate to Gamechangers. Donate to Not Alone Notes. Buy the product. But this is our community. Let's support it. This is the grassroots effort right here tonight. You're looking at it. You're part of it. This is us, right?
Right.
All right. Anything to add?
No, I think you really hit it for me. Gonna have to make you an official ambassador.
I got a little fired up.
No, please. I love telling people about the business who are not in the mental health field. Like, I was talking to like some production partner and they're like, the Octopus, that's such a cool name. Why is it called that? I was like, actually, the OCD is about obsessive compulsive disorder. And I went on my whole spiel. They're like, that's interesting. And I'm like, you bet it's interesting. You bet.
So all of you out there that were going, the OCD-opus, nope, it's the Octopus. And there you go. Now you know. There you have it. Thank you so much, Elise. Go buy the product. I'm so happy for the winners of the ceramic ornament. Yay! We'll bring Elise back on at the end for a final fundraising push. So thank you very much. All right, moving right along. Oh, who do we have next? Only one of the most feisty, passionate, explosive OCD advocates there is. Hey, Allegra!
Hi, Chrissy. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're all good. And look at you in your shirt. Look at it! Yes. Speaking of pushing back on the narrative, boom, Allegra Castens.
Hi.
All right, you got 45 minutes. I'll see you then. Tell us what it's been like for you. And I know you're in Cali, so everybody get ready to hear it all.
So, oh gosh, what has COVID been? I mean, I think initially when it started, I thought it was going to be like a 2-week thing, a 1-month thing. And I kept saying like, okay, like, you know, at least by May. And then I was like, okay, June, July, we'll get back to like normal living. And here we are. And I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm just so over it. Like I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss or not, but I'm just so fucking over it. And I say that like I completely understand how awful COVID has been for so many people. And I recognize that I have so much privilege in being able to work from home and utilize a teletherapy platform. But I am just like, I'm so over it. I honestly just want to board a plane and go to Europe. I want to sit at a bar and have a cocktail with friends. And yeah, I don't know. It's been a lot. So I'm one of those people who obviously understands why the stay-at-home orders take place. And I know that like the goal is to keep people safe and we don't want people to die or be affected by this. And I also think that a lot of people are sadly being affected, you know, having to sit inside all day. Maybe small businesses have been affected. So it's just really sad all around. Chrissy, come back.
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm like, what else do I say?
No, Allegra, this is, I mean,
I'm so over it. Like, that's all I have to say is like, LA is, restaurants are shut down. I mean, I get it. Trust me. I understand why, but it's like I'm missing my therapist in person. It just doesn't feel the same online. I miss hugging people. Like, I am just so ready for this vaccine to be out there and for things to get better.
Yeah. Oh, and I think just so you know, this is why we're having people come on tonight to talk about their real experience. I think that sometimes, as we talked about in the first fireside chats with everybody, there was this, you know, people were spinning things to the positive and, oh, we should do this. And, you know, like it's hard for people when they're suffering, and we need our community to know it's okay to feel anything. There's a whole spectrum here, and it's okay to feel it.
And I love like the both and here, because at first I felt so awful saying like, I'm very over this, but I can feel over this and recognize that like we have to keep people safe at the same time. You know, two things can coexist. So I'm really working on honoring the fact that like, I'm just so over this. And also honoring the fact that like so many people have lost loved ones, and we really do need to get a handle on this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I just appreciate you. Our community appreciates you and how real you are. And I think this is a perspective that a lot of people are going to.
Was I the only one that was like, I'm over it? I feel like everybody else was like, it's been a beautiful time period.
No.
I'm really enjoying the self-care. I'm like, where's my food? I want to go to a restaurant. I want to go to a bar. I mean.
No, I mean, we've had a lot of different
experiences
highlighted tonight, and I think it's important that we highlight them all, because we can't just like, and John Hirschfield was saying earlier, it was just like taking it one day at a time. And I think the thing is that if we had something to compare this to, it would be different. Like, oh, we're in the home stretch, we're in this.
I don't know.
But no one knows. Like, the whole point of doing this is the fireside chats were 8 months ago? Did we really think we would still be here in December?
No, absolutely not. And like, I also want to point out, because when I said I want to go to a restaurant, I am not one of those like people protesting to open restaurants. I am not that person. Please do not get it twisted, people. No, I'm not one of those people. So
we hear you loud and clear.
I just miss social interaction. I miss I went to see like a trainer a couple of weeks ago, and it felt like the best experience of my life because I got to see someone in the flesh, you know, like I can only talk to my dogs for so long, you know?
Well, Allegra, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I always rely on you to keep it real.
Keeping it real.
All right, to visit Allegra on hashtag, or not hashtag, at Obsessively Ever After on Instagram. Thank you so much for your advocacy.
And please donate to Chrissy at OCD Gamechangers. Please, please, please. She does so much wonderful work for this community beyond.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm sure I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you in 5 minutes.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Alrighty, y'all. Oh my gosh. It's like I look down and I realize we're wrapping up. We literally only have like 4 or 5 people to go, and that makes me sad. And maybe y'all are like, it doesn't make me sad. I'm ready to go to bed. But either way, we still have people to go. So a few more, and the next is Ben Harris. Hey!
Hey, Chrissy.
Ben is over there in Chicago. How you doing?
I am doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You've had a good COVID.
I have had a good COVID. I'll talk a little bit about that, but yeah, it's been all
I'm
right.
gonna let you talk about it. I'm gonna give you 4 to 5 minutes,
Okay.
and then I'll be back. But I do want to say, I remember our fireside chat, and our fireside chat was really raw. It was.
It was good.
It
I
was
was thinking
raw,
about
and it
that.
was emotional. And for how much shit you divvy out to everybody, meaning like giving people shit.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
And like sarcastic, and that's why I love you. I remember thinking this was a really vulnerable fireside chat, and I so much appreciated it and saw a different side of you. And not that I needed to, but I'm just going to tell
Might be a
you.
little more of that coming in a minute.
Good. Okay. There you go. I'll see you soon.
Hi, everybody. We'll get the donate out of the way. Of course, this is a great organization. I'm so happy to be a part of it. We're getting the OCD Gamechangers. We got some focus groups going on, and it's been a blast being a part of that so far. I can't wait to see where that goes. But I was thinking about what to talk about, and I was watching some people beforehand to try to get some ideas of what to cover. But then I just figured I'd go off the cuff and was just thinking about this year 2020 and all the challenges it has posed, and it's been nothing short of that for me either, challenging. But if this was the year that anybody could have fallen apart, if I could have fallen apart, it would have been the year. So Christy and I were talking with the Gamechangers. I was talking a lot about parental guilt, and a big part of that was this year. What a lot of people don't know is that I had the end of a relationship, of a marriage, and I went from having a nice big practice to going solo, and then COVID hit at the beginning of the year. I stopped drinking alcohol completely and made that commitment to myself. And then COVID hits and alcohol sales go up, and everybody shut down, and stress, trying to adjust to everything. But it's been a time for me to do a gut check, and to be able to really devote myself, to devote myself to a new relationship that has been just the absolute best thing for me. I've had a ton of support going through all this. I've had my patients. There are some patients who kind of, they know a little bit more about me. I know what they're going through, and so we can relate to each other. And it's just been really nice in a sense of, I know times are stressful, but it's also a time for people to be able to show themselves what they're made of. And I think that's something that I'm really proud of myself for. I'm proud of my patients for, and it's an indicator that this is really a great time to do that self-reflection. Yes, like Allegra was saying, everybody is kind of getting sick of it, but there has been a great opportunity for, to meet challenges. And this is what I encourage my patients to do all the time. But as far as for me, it's been a good year despite everything that's going on. And, I can't say enough about the OCD community and my support system and just all the wonderful things that are going on with that. I'm kind of going blank right now. I was going to talk about some more. But yeah, I guess I just wanted everybody to know that, if anybody can make a change like I have, it's been a great opportunity to do that. And I'm just really hoping that you all are doing well, that you're taking advantage of opportunities, that you're relying on your support systems, and that you're giving yourself credit for managing. Like, everybody is in this crazy time, and we're all dealing with our things. And the guilt was something I was going to talk about with, parental guilt about my status as, being able to continue to work. And I have patients who are so much less fortunate. And so I'm reminded of that on a regular basis. And I'm just really thankful and grateful that I have had the opportunities to take this year to kind of slow it down and take advantage of what COVID has done to us, I guess. And that is, we have had to slow down. We've had to take notice of what it is that's going on around us and make the best of it. And that's what I have done, and I hope you're all doing the same thing.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. This has been a tough year for you. Lots of stuff. And then COVID on top of that. And I think that even knowing that and people being able to see that about you, like, there's, you know what, even in the midst of a lot of really tough things happening, you can just hang on to hope and make changes for the better. And so that's what I'm hearing from you. And I think that's what you're saying. And that's what I really appreciate as your message.
Yeah, it's that I'm surprised. Like, I started going blank there, just like thinking about everything that has been going on. So much was rushing through my head. But yeah, it is a great opportunity to grab onto that and to rely on those people who are closest to you, and not be afraid to reach out for help.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ben, I appreciate you, and you have been, like, we've worked together before.
Yes.
And it's always just such a pleasure, and I just really, really appreciate you, and thank you for being part of this and part of Gamechangers. We appreciate your support.
It is an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
All right, I'm sure I'll see you sometime, hopefully 2021. But I guess.
Oh my God, yes, I was so upset when we couldn't go to the conference. That was the worst.
I know.
Well, that all year.
At some point, it'll happen, right?
This year, Jeff Szymanski, he's going to make it happen. He will end COVID just so we can have the conference.
Let's hope. We'll see. All right, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yep. Bye, Chrissy.
Okay, so the next guest. Hello, Tim, and I am excited to show you what his
I couldn't have you have the only banana picture, Chrissy. I mean, so I had a one up you. Yeah, I can. There, I'll bring it up. It's there we go. It's called Banana Appeal, as one banana peels the other. I got that for you, Chrissy. I just was so excited about this that I had to find something.
Oh my God, look, it has a banana split or something in the back.
Yeah, it's a pie. They're gonna just bet each other in the pie. Yeah, so that's so.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
That's for you, Chrissy. I hope you enjoy that. Keep that in your head tonight when you and Sean are heading to bed later. Maybe
betting down in the pie.
Betting in a pie when you bake a pie together later tonight. Yes.
This is why I love the latter half of Ignite the Fire.
There's a lot of comments going on right now about, whoa, this just got weird. I'm just reading.
Is everywhere.
It's groinal time, everyone. Yes. Hello. Welcome.
Oh my God. So for those of you that don't know, Patrick McGrath has one of the best senses of humor ever.
Thank you, friend. Thank you.
So Patrick came on with Margaret on our Fireside Chats, and they did a Fireside Chat together. Patrick is very specialized and very passionate about the treatment of OCD and addiction together. As we know, there is not much out there for people, and Patrick is, I mean, seriously, a pioneer in creating the first residential treatment facility for OCD and addiction. Like, I have so much admiration for you, Patrick. I can't even there are no words. So love you, appreciate your support and your friendship and your tour with your bananas. So I'm gonna give you 4 to 5 minutes and then I'll come back on. How have you been? How's it been for you? What's life been like since our fireside?
It's been interesting. As some of you know, my wife's had a pretty significant cancer for the last 4 years. So there hasn't been a lot of change for us. We were living a pretty isolated life in that way. So being in isolation, really not much different for us from what we were living already. On the professional front, though, yes, I was at Alexian Brothers Behavioral Health Hospital, part of Amita Health, for 14 years, opened up the Foglia Family Foundation Residential Treatment Center, the first treatment center that treated both OCD and SUD together, which was really inspired in many ways by my work with Margaret and getting to know her and hearing about Riley. And it was just such a privilege to be able to open that center up. And it's still going, still there, but made a big switch this year and have now been working with Stephen Smith at NoCD. And it's just been a wonderful experience to help NoCD grow from when I got here in January to being in 3 states to now in all 50 states and over 150 therapists across the country that I get to mentor and train. And what an honor that has been to watch this company grow and to watch people get evidence-based OCD treatment now through their phone, right? To be able to have that wonderful experience that you don't have to travel for hours to find a specialist. We work on getting more and more insurance coverage so it's affordable for people. And we're really trying to change the game in many ways as well. We want people to really recognize that OCD treatment is affordable and attainable. And that's our goal across the country. So that's been absolutely wonderful and exciting. I love doing my Wednesday night webinars with NoCD. Our chats are great. I hope we get to do more of them. They're always fun. I've been doing more trainings. I've been working with Becky Beaton and the Knowledge Tree down in Atlanta, and that has been great. I just did one on Friday, and it was great yesterday. It was so much fun. And doing some in Australia too. I've recorded a couple of trainings for them and sent them over there. So it's really fun to, I bought this microphone on purpose so I could use it. And now I can try to be that voice. Maybe I'll be that voice in the, hello, you're listening to, whatever. But it's just fun to train. It's fun to teach. And it's still great to be able to have a few patients and help them through their OCD and to watch them grow and to see them blossom even in the midst of a pandemic, that they're getting the treatment that they need, they're getting their life back, and we'll help them in the adjustment when things return to normal again as well. So that's what's been exciting and fun. And I look forward to, like everyone else, seeing everybody in person again. But I think I clocked last month over about 78 hours on Zoom in the last month. So I feel like I live on Zoom. So I haven't felt too alone because I do get to see people so very much. So that part's just wonderful that I still get to do that. So,
which, by the way, I did not mean to click on.
You can click on anytime.
I did not mean to. I went to just put it there so I could click on it, and then I clicked on it and I was like, uh-oh.
Well, we know a camera shy you are. And Chrissy, if I could have one more minute just to say, I still use the vomit germ as one of my favorite stories in the world. And for those of you who don't know the story, Chrissy and I were in the back seat of a car driving. Her husband, Sean, was driving. And there was, I won't say who was in the front seat, but he had said that he had thrown up. And as we were driving, Chrissy assumed because we were moving forward, as he was breathing, the germs would, by inertia itself, push the vomit germs into the back seat of the car, which then halfway through the ride, she had us get out on some rural mountain road in the middle of nowhere where we could have been killed by grizzlies. But she at least felt that was not as bad as maybe having to deal with throwing up. So she put all of our lives at risk to not have her panic attack and have a vomit experience go on.
I lied. I said I was that I was like, car sick?
You said that, which I knew was crap right from the beginning. Let me just tell you, I knew what an absolute liar you were in the whole experience. But the best part of it was the next day we found out that person hadn't thrown up, that some other bodily function had happened, not throwing up though, and that all of it was a lie. And you showed what an example of fear that was, that you were afraid of something that didn't happen, but had convinced yourself it had happened and had just got yourself in a tizzy all the way up to a panic based on a lie, which was amazing. By the way.
You're embarrassed to tell anyone it was diarrhea.
Which I use that story to this day in therapy with patients to talk about how you can make yourself afraid of nothing just by convincing yourself it's true. So
I mean, I was like an Instapot.
Yeah.
By the time we got
You were ready to explode. Yeah, absolutely. And then,
cracked an Instapot.
and then when you found out it was a lie, and then I got to be in the car with you when you discovered it was not true, and you were like furious.
Right.
You wanted to kill someone at that point in time. So yeah.
I felt betrayed.
Yeah, you sure did. You sure did. But I cherish that moment that we had together and that we got that experience, and I will never forget
I
it.
hate everybody involved.
Yeah. So it was wonderful.
Well, I am so glad that other clients get to benefit from the wisdom.
I'm going to bring that back for you, Chrissy, just before we leave as well. So it's been really fun, Chrissy. I hope just keep that image in your head tonight before you and Sean make a pie together. And give Sean my love. You know, he's a great man.
I will remind him of the story and of the photo. Love you, man. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see you in person.
Donate, everybody. Talk to you later.
Oh my God. Sorry we got off on a tangent, but that was a good tangent. Okay, y'all, we got 2 more people and you don't want to miss. These are 2 just extraordinary people in our community that have done so much, that have really changed people's lives. But until then, we're really going to talk to you about the importance of this event tonight. What are we doing here tonight? We're fundraising. We're fundraising for our community at OCD, here at OCD Gamechangers. Not alone notes. Buy some swag at, did I say it wrong? Swag. Okay, swag at Octopus. Y'all, I know sometimes it's hard to know. Like, well, I don't know what I'm donating to. I've never donated before. I'm here to tell you, like, every penny you donate to OCD Gamechangers goes to our initiatives, and a portion of those proceeds tonight goes to Not Alone Totes. Donate what you can. Our community needs your support, so that's what we're here for. Everybody, let's go around, talk about why it's important to donate and what it is going to mean to our community. Morgan, you go first.
I am just so grateful, Chrissy, that we're partnering together, and I think we have so much potential to impact not just this first round of people who get these totes, but so many people who are joining the community, and to really welcome them and embrace them and just give them resources.
Yeah. Your initiative is so, it will change lives. It's going to change lives. Molly, tell us, why should people donate?
Think about the time that your life, what am I trying to say? The life that you had before you realized that you were diagnosed, and what you wish you had known, and how much sooner you wish you had found resources in an online community and ERP, and that that could be changed for someone if they receive a tote, and their life will be changed for the better, and they'll have resources and feel less alone.
They don't have to search. It's right there in their lap.
Yep.
Elise, tell us, What would it be like for you if you had gotten a tote? What does it mean to donate to something like this?
I can't imagine how much better it would have been if I had gotten a tote, even just my family. Like, it would be so much easier to explain everything to my family if we had a tote. Like, I am a walking tote, I feel like, but they could use a tote. So, like, that would be nice. But yeah, like, if you're here, I'm assuming you get something out of the community, something out of being with other people with OCD and hearing about it. And by donating to Gamechangers and the Not Alone Totes initiative, that's how you keep these things running and keep them growing so that they can help more and more people and the community grows and continues. And we have to support them if we want them to support us back.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's, having an organization like OCD Gamechangers. If I started my advocacy, I started way back in the day, y'all, like 2012. There was nothing. I mean, there were organizations there, but there was no opportunities for individuals who were advocates and how to get support and to grow. And I had to start on my own. And I'm going to tell you, there were many a times during those years I wanted to stop. I didn't know how to keep going, and while having another job, I didn't know other people. Sometimes didn't even know if people wanted to hear it because mental health is still so stigmatized. So that's why OCD Gamechangers is here. You have an idea, you want to do something, and all three of these women right here could probably be a testament to, they came to OCD Gamechangers and said, we have an idea, let's do something. And we were like, let's do it. What do you want to do? That's why we have TikToks on Tuesdays now. We are here to support you, and your voice matters. You need a platform because your platform may impact 10 people, which may impact 10 more, which may impact 10 more, which may impact the whole world. You matter. What you're doing, your story, everything. If you want to advocate, come to us. Let's figure out how to collaborate. Let's figure out how to get you out there, because we need you so we can reach other people, so other people can get a Not Alone tote, and that can also go to I almost said OCDopus, Octopus, and get that swag so they can start promoting out to other people what OCD really is. We have a dynamic group of people right here. Please consider supporting tonight. If it's $1, if it's $10,000, if you want to be a partner with us, we can do it. So thank you for being here tonight. We've got 2 more people. Any final thoughts, y'all?
Just
donate.
Yeah.
Oh.
donate.
Same sentiment.
Thank you to everybody.
I just like how Elise was like, I'm a walking tote. I think we should
I'm like
a graphic or something.
Yeah, I'm like, can you make a part of the tote about family members? Because
yes,
give me a family
tote.
tote.
Steal that idea. And
we
we also
accidentally got this family tote. You should
family
read it.
totes and different. Yeah, we have.
Maybe this is going to be our June event, and we take our next 20 fireside chats. Boom. Here we go. We can do that.
I promise.
Oh, yeah.
We'll back it. We'll fund it. Because I got people that need that tote.
All right, y'all. We'll come back on. We have 2 more people, and we're going to bring them on. We're going to close this shit out. Thank you for staying with us. It has been amazing, and I can't wait for you to see who's next. And that will be Steven Smith.
Chrissy.
Steven, you were, I think, fireside number 2.
That was way back in time.
I think you were like the number 2 fireside, and I remember just being like, oh my God, what is going on in the world? And then I remember thinking like, I'd never seen you so relaxed and like chill in my life. Not that like COVID relaxed you, but at the same time, I remember being like, wow, this is so good. Like, I love this. And I remember the vibe of that fireside, and I loved it. So yeah. Steven is the founder of NoCD, and they're doing amazing things. My OCD peers and myself as an advocate have partnered with you. I'm just always been in awe of what, like, you put your mind to stuff and you accomplish it. And it is just phenomenal. And I just so much appreciate you. So there's that.
Oh, thank you, Chrissy. It means a lot. Yeah, it was a fun time on the second Fireside Chat. We had a great conversation as always.
I know. Well, I'm going to give you 4 to 5 minutes here and then I'll be back. But tell us where you've been. Tell us what's happened. I know you're busy as usual in the last 9 months, but how have you felt about COVID?
Sure. Well, COVID's been tough. I think it's been tough for everybody. You know, it's quite honestly changed the day to day for me, where I was always traveling. I was always going from place to place, and overnight really just brought me to my house and kept me there. Right. And so, but you know, I'm really happy that my team and I at NoCD have been able to help a lot of people. We started off the year in about 3 states, and now we're in all 50 states, meaning that if you live in the US today, you can access a licensed therapist that has specialty training in OCD and ERP through NoCD. You can do live face-to-face video sessions with them, and they get support between sessions, and our team will help assist in both connecting you as well as helping make sure your experience is great. So we've built that all out, and it's been a busy 2020. And yeah, I mean, it's been overall, I think, fulfilling in the sense that, you know, personally, I have OCD. I have a lot of the intrusive thoughts, and I see a lot of people who were once in my shoes who have been able to get treatment and able to, you know, navigate these trying times and kind of get back on their feet. And it's been just a wild 2020. So right now, currently in San Antonio, Texas, our office is headquartered in Chicago, but here remotely for the time being. And, you know, I miss kind of going out to Denver and seeing Chrissy and the rest of the folks that you saw here tonight. But overall, I mean, 2020 has been, you know, it's been a really challenging year. However, I think there have been some silver linings, and you know, we see them day to day. I mean, we're now online and having these types of conversations where before this wouldn't even been possible. Nobody really would have known what to do, and now it's just become the norm. And it's also giving people a chance to live wherever they want, right? And now, you know, people can go in and they don't have to live where they work. They could work remotely, and now we have technology that helps with that. So I think our whole society has adapted really well. But yeah, I mean, and personally, it's been good. I mean, great. I've been fortunate enough to just have great people in my life every day who have been completely supportive, and you know, I think that peer relationship has been huge. My family's been incredibly supportive. So it's just overall, it's been a challenging year, but you know, I've also been fortunate to have great family support and friend support. So that's a little bit about what's happening with me. You know, and yeah, I mean, it's been a busy year with work, but personally have been able to sustain, and my OCD hasn't been, you know, that bad this year. I've been able to manage it when it did kind of blimp up a little bit at the beginning of the year, and now, you know, we're rocking and rolling, and so it's been yeah. So it's in that regard, it's been quite a year, but it's personally been okay. So yeah, and you know, I'm happy. I saw Dr. McGrath was here before me, and he kind of hit the nail on the head. He's been doing well too, and yeah, I think the same benefits that he's received with just having the face-to-face contact via Zoom, I've also felt. So I had, you know, many hours logged on Zoom, and it's amazing to see like how that platform has just been connecting us all. And so I think I've had more face-to-face contact virtually than I had before COVID. So it's been, I mean, that's not just virtually, that's overall. So yeah, that's my update.
Well, Stephen, we saw each other at OCD Gamechangers in Denver last year, right before it. And I'm going to tell you something. I remember us all sitting up in the bathroom. Do you remember this? There were like 5 of us, like random, not like sitting on the toilet, but like there was a big bathroom, like a big bathroom enough where Kim like could sleep in there. Like she brought a mattress in and slept in like a closet. It was a big bathroom. So we're all sitting up there like it was a living room. And I remember us talking about, because you were supposed to go to Vegas. You remember this?
Mm-hmm. We still went, by the way.
Well, good.
That was
I'm glad.
that was before everything locked down. So it was like the
But
last.
I remember like we were having this big conversation and I was sitting on the sink and y'all were sitting on the edge of the tub. And I was like, and it was like, well, we shouldn't go because people could see you if you got COVID. You remember this conversation?
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all are stupid.
Before,
and I didn't mean you were stupid. But you know what I mean? I was like, whatever. I'm like, anyway, what are we doing tomorrow? And then I remember thinking like a week later, OMG, we were talking about something that was happening and we didn't even really know it. It was a really weird moment.
Right. It was like one of those things where everyone didn't believe it, right? We were just, well, there's no way this is going to happen, right? It's people are being overly cautious, and you didn't realize the magnitude of it until like literally everything started to shut down.
5 days later.
5 days later.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness for OCD Game Changers event that weekend.
Yeah. Well, that was like the grand finale from the life that we originally knew. Like originally knew it. It was we had a chance to at least like see each other and have a good time before everything, everything kind of shut down, which was awesome.
I know. I'm glad Game Changers could do that for us.
Yeah, exactly. It's a real deal. So that's what I had to say. Game Changers is the real deal.
We are the real deal. So thank you, Stephen. I love you. I love you.
Likewise,
And
Christy.
thank you for all that you do. Appreciate you. If y'all don't know about OCD, go to NOCD. It's an app, and they also provide therapy in all 50 states now. Woohoo!
Yeah.
TreatmentOCD.com.
Yep.
And this is all born out of Stephen's experience. That's why I love it so much.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's born on my experience. Also, the people on our team, a lot of us have OCD as well. So it's not just me at this point. We have 60 team members, and
It's okay to say that this was your idea and you did it. Stop being modest. This is you. I'm going to put that out there. Thank you for what you have done.
Well, thank you, Chrissy. It means a lot.
All righty.
All righty. Well, thanks. And if there's a chance to donate, you should definitely do it because, Chrissy's doing great work, and a lot of us are here today because of what she's done, and she's kind of like the glue to the OCD community in many ways. So, yeah.
Oh, here. That's really meaningful. I appreciate that.
That's true.
Seriously, I don't even know how to digest it. Thank you. And I love you, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Chrissy. All right.
Bye. Speaking of the person that dragged her mattress into the closet at OCD Game Changers, because the closet was so big that it served as a bedroom. I'm trying to digest Stephen's comment as I say this without crying.
Yeah, I know. I got a little teary myself.
I know. I'm like, okay, how do I introduce Kim without crying? So,
cry. Lots of people cry when they introduce me.
Okay, Kim is our last speaker of the night. It could not be better because number one, she's a Game Changers board a member.
I am.
Two, you're a meeting. 3, she's been part of Game Changers for the last 2 years. And 4, she is just a game changer for advocacy. You have bridged the gap between advocacy and therapy.
Oh, I hope so. Really, I got goosebumps.
You are.
I'm making it sweat over here.
I'm like, are you in LA? You are all bundled up, girl.
Yeah, well, underneath here is my pajamas. So I had a sweater on, and my husband's like, go back in and get a good shirt jacket on. And then come back in here with something better.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna let you get to it, but I am gonna say 2 things. Number one, I know that you've had a very interesting COVID. I've watched you travel. I've watched you see things that not a lot of us have experienced. But also, I really appreciated when you came on to the Fireside Chat. You expressed a lot of anger. Remember? You were angry. And you were like, it's the first time I've been this angry. Yeah. So I appreciated that and felt validated. But I'm gonna give you 4 to 5 minutes right now. Share with us how it's been for you.
Sure.
How has life been since Fireside?
Okay, I'm writing down the time so that I get my 4 or 5 minutes. Well, hello, everybody. Of course, I'm going to say, first of all, please do donate. I can't tell you how, as a business owner and as an advocate myself, when you're doing it alone and you're trying to make a change, other people's help and support and donations make a huge difference. And it allows people who are game changers to go and do amazing, amazing things. So please do donate. That would be awesome. Even if it's just a small amount, that would be so awesome. I'm probably going to choke up here at some point, and I'm cool with it. Look at this place in time. If this had have been a conversation I had a month ago, what I would say would be so much different. But yes, when I had a fireside chat with Chrissy, I had for the first time in my life, a major conflict in my life. And I had just unlocked a huge degree of anger. So while I was dealing with COVID and seeing my clients and, really trying to hustle with all of the community and getting ERP School out and giving away tons of free ERP School courses. ERP School is an online course to teach you how to do ERP. So I was giving away a ton of those, but this other thing, this big conflict was happening in my life. And I kind of broke open, and it was a really interesting shift because I'm always talking about living a value-based life. And everybody knows I'm always saying it's a beautiful day to do hard things. And I believe it, and I believed it, but nothing like I believe it now, because there was something that shifted in me in releasing all of that anger I had. And I was angry at the world. I was angry at COVID. And then I went through this massive stage of grief. And as much as I want to tell you that grief sucks, because it does, I took some time off work. I really just was like, you know what? I'm going to admit to my clients that I'm having a hard time. I just was like, I'm a human being and I get to struggle too. And I took some time off and I really just sat in that grief, and it healed me in such a way that I was missing my family. I'm from Australia, but I live in Los Angeles. I've lived here officially now. I've lived in America longer than I have lived in Australia, which I actually felt a grief process about myself once I realized that. And then I was just grieving so much. I was like, I need to go home. I need to go home. My grandmother had been unwell. And of course, I was like, I can't go home. We're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. But I really thought to myself about what I tell other people, which is to live a value-based life and a life where fear doesn't make your decisions. I did an immense degree of research, and I did an immense degree of just honoring that I deserve to live my life, and I'm not going to let fear make this decision. And so I made the decision to go home. Now, in Australia, it's much different. Here, the cases are, skyrocketing, but there they have no cases. And they have very strict rules. The government is incredibly strict, and they did require that I fly. You have to first apply to go home. Then I had to do a 2-week a police-guarded hotel quarantine where I had no fresh air for 2 weeks. I did not see anybody. You're not allowed to open your doors. There are no windows to open. And even though that sounded like a terrible, crappy idea, something inside me, like I said, had broken open and had somewhat, I would say healed, but I don't want that to sound too cliche. And so I just went and I dug my heels in, and, I literally I went to quarantine, and I worked 13-hour days seeing clients and finishing a book that I'm writing. And even there, even though it was so hard and I cried and I had anxiety and I had a panic attack, and it was like everybody's worst nightmare. Even though I was doing that, I just had the thing that's been huge for me is I can do hard things. And I say it all the time and I mean it all the time, but this was like a secure, concrete, I was like, no, I can do hard things and that's it. That's it from now on. That's how I'm rolling. And it was so powerful for me. And then I got out of quarantine. The police are there, the armed forces are there, the Air Force is there, the nurses are there. They're like checking on you and they won't let you out and it's crazy hard. And then I just left and I could hug my family. And it was the most amazing thing for me to do because, I needed to see my grandmother. I just couldn't cope with not seeing her and I couldn't cope with seeing my mom and dad. And I did it in a way that I felt was safe. And I don't mean to say that because I know a lot of you are all grieving not seeing your family right now. And that's for a really good reason. And I'm so grateful for everybody who's taking precautions. And I felt I was taking really solid precautions. Like they said, you have to quarantine and you have to test before you get on a plane and so forth. But that's it. That was my experience. And I really want to hopefully convey to you guys that you are stronger than and that you don't be afraid of grief and don't be afraid of the anger you feel, because sometimes when you sit in that and you're compassionate, it breaks open and something can heal. And so I know you're all struggling and I know that we're grieving together and we're angry together and all of that, but even though they're hard emotions, they can be really powerful.
Thank you for that. And that is why I wanted to put you last. Because I knew that you would have like some insightful energy that would just make everybody feel motivated and inspired in a time where people feel very lonely and very isolated. And I think you sharing your story and so many people tonight, and I'm going to keep you on here for a minute. So many people tonight came on and shared their experience. And I wanted it to not be, you do not have to wrap this in hope. You don't have to wrap this in happiness. Come on out. Tell us how you feel. And as a board member of Gamechangers, I wanted you to be here. Why is that important, Kim? Why is it important for us to validate people's experience, even if it's not, we can't tie it up in a bow with hope?
No. So, I think the main thing to remember is that validation allows us to land in a place of compassion. When there is no relief right now, right? So even though I got to see my family, I still had to grieve COVID and the lives that have been lost and all the shit. So there is no relief. And when there's no relief, all we can do is hold ourselves in the kindest, most compassionate place. And when we validate and we share and we give everybody an opportunity to say how they feel without, invalidating them, they feel less alone and they can feel like their pain is being held in a really beautiful, warm place. And that's what this community is about. Gamechangers and everyone who's spoken here has a message that at the end makes them feel less alone. Look, not alone notes. It's so brilliant. But I think that when we feel less alone, we then go on to treat ourselves kinder, because sometimes we can be our most harsh critic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being on the board. I appreciate you being here. And I watched your 2-week isolation and I cringed the whole time. I was like, what?
It was brutal. It was
like,
brutal.
What are you doing?
I know. And I said that to myself every day so many times of like, why am I doing this? And I think that that's so true of anyone who's doing exposures and they're doing their hard thing, is you're thinking the whole time, like, why am I doing that? But that's why I really wanted to tell that story, because when we put ourselves first and our wellness first, it's hard, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was worth it, even though it was crap.
Before we bring everybody back on, as a board member and participant in OCD Gamechangers, why should people donate to this organization?
Because your dollar, if you're at home and you want to help, but let's say you've got kids and you just haven't got the energy, or you don't have an idea yet is the word.
Yes.
But you have a potential, but you don't feel like you can do your potential right now. Your $1 can give somebody else who has the idea and the time to get going. And that's how people at home are actually game changers if they donate tonight, right? That's the deal. You get behind the people who are doing the things, and then they go faster and they change lives. And then it's like brilliant. So your dollar is the game changer.
Yes! Yay! I want to banner that, but I think I've done too many banners and it won't let me banner anymore. But I want to, your dollar is the game changer.
You've bannered.
I think that message is huge, because the things that we are going to try to do in 2021 that we already have slated, these are the things that people are asking for.
Mm-hmm.
We're bringing more awareness to the LGBTQ community. We're bringing more awareness to the cultural barriers, financial barriers in the OCD community. We need your voice, but if right now you're not ready to have your voice heard, we need your dollar.
Yeah.
We need
And
your
that's
donation.
fine. Let's say you never want to speak out and you don't ever want to share your story because of reasons of your own. That's fine. But your dollar does that for so many people.
Yes. Yay! Look, let me see if I can create it. Your dollar is the game changer. Yes, there it is!
Everyone is a game changer.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kim. I just appreciate you. And I knew having you come on at the end would help round this entire process up. I'm almost sad to let you go, because that means that it's over. And I literally feel like I blinked and I was bringing on the first guest, Chris Trondsen. And now it's over. And I'm sad, but at the same time, I really appreciate you and your story and being able to have some insight on why it's important to donate and why it's important to be a game changer. So
yeah,
everybody
is. And great, Chrissy, round of applause for you. Woo!
This is a good night. This is a good night. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll see you at the board meeting soon.
Yeah, you will.
Any final words?
It's a beautiful day to do hard things.
Yep. All right. Kim Quinlan, visit her on Instagram at Kimberly Quinlan, right? At Kimberly Quinlan. Thank you for your dedication to our board, and thank you for all that you do.
My pleasure. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. You're amazing and such resilient human beings to get through this year.
Talk to you soon. All right, everybody, as we close out, here are the final players in the night. I can't believe it's over. I literally was like, I can't make Kim go away because that means we have to stop.
Oh.
I mean, it really was like 2 seconds. It felt like, but it's all okay. Okay, y'all, this is it, the final push. I will say, donations that come in after tonight through December, we are still going to donate a portion to Not Alone Totes. So we're going to continue to fundraise. Please be part of this amazing initiative. Please be part of our organization. Please be part of the community where we are really striving to help people feel less alone, figure out solutions to barriers, figure out how to connect people, because that's really what we need in this community, which is exactly what Not Alone Totes is doing. You have OCD. You get a tote in the mail. You all of a sudden feel like you belong. You're not an outsider anymore. So let's go around, y'all. Final thoughts on Ignite the Fire. Elise, give it to us and tell us where people can get your merch.
Yes. Okay. So final thoughts. I love how real everybody kept it tonight. There was some hope, some tough conversation that was also very honest. Like, we have to keep it real. Obviously, everyone gathering for a really great cause, Gamechangers and the Not Alone Totes. It's something that's really needed in the community. And I feel like what Kim said is going to stick in my mind now for at least the next 3 hours, where it's like, your dollar can go so far, even if you're not ready to share your story, because you can help get those totes out to everybody and get other people's ideas out into the community. So you never know how far it can go, even with just $1. And as far as getting more dollars to Gamechangers, like I said, 20% of the Not About Xmas collection for the octopus is going to Gamechangers. It's the shirt, the ornament, and the stickers, vinyl stickers. And you can get them on Etsy if you go to the handle at the octopus, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, TikTok. It'll all lead you to a link that will bring you to our shop. You can type in the octopus on Etsy, but we are waiting for you. We are ready. We can get them out before Christmas too if you place it tonight.
Yay! All right, Morgan. Final thoughts.
It was just so good to see everybody. Even though it's virtual, like, it was just so nice to see everyone and hear how they've been doing, whether it's they've been struggling, that's so real, or if things have been going better virtually. It was just so good to see everyone. And I'm just so grateful that this little idea has become a reality. And, it was just me sitting alone in my dorm room, like, what if we sent a care package to people figuring out they have OCD? And look at us now. We are doing this, and we have a team, and we have donors, and I'm just so grateful.
Molly, bring it home.
I just want to say thanks to everyone for watching for 3 hours and 5 minutes. It's a long time to stare at your screen and listen to people. So thank you for everyone watching. And follow us on Not Alone Notes social media for updates on totes.
Yep.
Not Alone Notes on Instagram, Facebook, and now LinkedIn.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody. And for all of you that have watched, I think Molly's point is so important. You've been here through the 3 hours. And the inspiration I had for this event was I was part of an event that was like healing in quarantine, and Rudy Caceres put it on. He's an amazing advocate for bipolar disorder. And I did my 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'll just check it out and see. And I sat there for 2.5 hours and listened to all these people coming in, talking about their experience, and it helped to heal me. It helped me to understand I wasn't alone. And that's what we hope has happened for you tonight. Yes, I know this is a fundraiser, and yes, we want to do really great things, and we need your support. But what we also really want is for you to know that you're not alone. For you to know that this is a tough time. We're in the middle of December, and I don't even know it's Christmas. I don't even know it's Hanukkah. I don't even know it's anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're really just living in this world isolated in our houses, where we used to go out and see decorations, and we would be, joining together in celebration. Lots of us aren't able to do that. So we wanted to come to you. So during this holiday season, I hope that us being in your house tonight helps you know that you are part of a community, that you matter, you belong. Whatever you are going through, you are accepted and validated, because that's the message we wanted to send tonight. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. And I can't wait to see you in 2021 as we do even bigger things. And hopefully you will be involved, whether that is your advocacy or your dollar contributing to advocacy that can help save lives around the world. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.